The SWAC season culminates in Birmingham, Alabama. Arkansas Pine Bluff has put together one of the best seasons in school history, and today tries to cap it with its first SWAC title in 46 years. On the other side, a storied program in Jackson State gunning for its 17th title all time. It's the SWAC championship game right now. Welcome to ESPNU College Football, presented by McDonald's. We're at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama for Judgment Day, as they call it, the SWAC championship game. Arkansas Pine Bluff trying to win just its second title all time, the first since '66, against Jackson State here for the third time in the last 7 seasons and trying to get its 17th title in its storied history. Welcome into the broadcast booth with former NFL quarterback Jay Walker, Joe Davis on hand. SWAC teams don't play in the FCS playoffs, so this here is the pinnacle for SWAC squads.
This is what it's all about. You take a look at the 2 teams that are here today. Arkansas Pine Bluff, slow and steady all season long. Monty Coleman's team has won the games they needed to. For Rick Comegy and Jackson State, got off to a rocky start in the beginning, but at the end of the day, they're here with an opportunity to win a conference crown.
Arkansas Pine Bluff with a magical season and led by first-team all-conference quarterback in Ben Anderson.
Ben Anderson was selected first team because of the ability to run the football and extend the play. He's got a tremendous arm. He takes very deep drops, makes good decisions, and has nice touch on the deep ball, as you'll see here. And you show me a quarterback that made first team all-conference, I'll show you a great offensive lineman. Teron Armstead is that lineman for Arkansas Pine Bluff. I've never seen a man 6'5", 320 pounds move the way he does on the football field. NFL scouts are drooling at his potential. He's a complete package, but today they're going to need him to open up holes like this and dominate the line of scrimmage if they want to walk away with the conference crown.
So talking about the running game there, how about the passing game with Rico Richardson on the other side for Jackson State?
Richardson is the ultimate wide receiver for Jackson State in the long, storied tradition of wide receiver play at JSU. The senior stepped up in his senior year, over 1,000 yards receiving, 19 yards average. He can get it all done on the football field.
Pine Bluff won the toss. They've deferred, so Jackson State will receive to begin the SWAC championship game. Pine Bluff trying to cap one of the best seasons in school history with their first title since '66. Jackson State has won 5 in a row and trying to cruise to its 17th title all time. And Jackson State will begin at the 15-yard line with a short return after the bobble. So here comes Clayton Moore, junior out of Louisville, Mississippi. Akron transfer that really struggled throwing the ball in the first meeting between these 2 teams, but ran for 100 yards. And his offensive coordinator, Derek McCall, says, as he goes, we go. He's got to be good today.
Very simple game plan for Jackson State. If they try and crowd the line of scrimmage and stop you from running, they've got to get the ball to Rico Richardson on the deep throws, making the simple reads for Clayton Moore.
They start out of an empty set. Moore steps into a collapsing pocket with a strike to the sideline for Jarrell Young, just his 5th catch of the season. There's Rick Comegy, head coach for Jackson State in his 7th season. His 20th overall as a head coach. Came to JSU prior to the '06 season.
Coach Comegy had so much success prior to Jackson State at Tuskegee University. Now he's gone to Jackson State, has won a conference championship, trying to add a second.
Quarterback draw, and Bill Ross, the league's leader in tackles, throws him down for a short gain. Let's take a look at our impact players. First off, Raheem Sims.
Well, when these 2 teams met during the regular season, JSU rushed for over 200 yards. Raheem Sims was a big part of that. He's got to be able to run the football effectively if they want to have a chance. And on the flip side of that, you got to control the line of scrimmage. Brandon Thurman, 16.5 sacks, the #1 sack guy in all of FCS college football. He's got to make some big plays here today.
3rd down and 2 on the opening drive for Jackson State. And here's Tommy Gooden. It's going to be close with this Arkansas Pine Bluff defense, the top defense in the SWAC. Very good up the middle. And they're going to spot him short. Bill Ross and Jerian Harris with his stops. 4th and a half yard.
You mentioned the name Bill Ross. That's a name you should call often if Pine Bluff's doing things the right way on defense. Leading tackler on this team, over 117 tackles on the season. Good run stopper, plays very well in the phone booth.
So they will bring the punt team onto the field after an 8-yard first down play. Arkansas Pine Bluff's run defense shows up against an offense that ran for 320 yards against them in the first meeting. Tony Dean punts it. Here's Andre Mitchell to the 35. Let's take a look at what we've got planned for you for today's broadcast of the SWAC championship game. We'll look back at some of the historical games. The championship that dates back to 1999. It's award season, so Jay will take you through some of the top awards from this year. Heisman Trophy ceremony tonight, of course. He'll break that race down for you. Defensive player for the first time in a while. Freshman for the first time ever. And then Jackson State having several players graduate just yesterday. School accommodated things, and we'll talk more about that as the day rolls on. Ben Anderson taking a shot on his first throw for Willie Young, but well out of his reach, and it's 2nd and 10.
Wow, very first play of the game. Jackson State defensive coordinator Darren Hayes decides to dial up a blitz from both linebackers, trying to let Ben Anderson know he will not be comfortable in the pocket. They're going to try and keep pressure on him throughout the football game.
First team all SWAC, gets it into the flats for Ladarius Eckwood. Gets 4 to make it 3rd down and 6. Ray Cox came over to make the stop. We're the 2nd team all SWAC performer, but the leading receiver for this team. And there's Monty Coleman, the head coach. In his 5th season, he's gotten his record better and better every season he's been here. Justin Billings with his first touch of the day. And a couple of 3-and-outs for these offenses to begin.
Trying to feel each other out. And one of the things you notice from Arkansas Pine Bluff, up-tempo offense. They want to get a number of plays. They normally don't run that fast tempo. But during this game, because Jackson State does not like to do substitutions, they want to wear out their starting bunch. And it's a good look right there at offensive coordinator Eric Dooley, one of the rising stars in the coaching profession. His name is being mentioned for several of the HBCU coaching vacancies.
Aaron Godwin's punt, taken in a fair catch at the 20 by Cox. And Jackson State will have its 2nd possession when we come back. A couple of 3-and-outs to begin this SWAC championship game on a rainy Saturday in Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome to Chevy's year-end event.
So the 5.3-liter V8 Silverado can tow up to 9,600 pounds?
315 horsepower.
What's that in reindeer power?
Chevy Ball Championship is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Looking at the Vulcan statue, largest cast iron statue in the world. It's 56 feet tall. Here in Birmingham. Jackson State trying to win its 17th championship. Back in 2007, they were here in this stadium. Jimmy Oliver was the MVP of that game, throwing for 3 touchdown passes, scrambled out of trouble time and time again. A 42-31 comeback win over Grambling in the SWAC championship game, giving Jackson State its 16th SWAC title, but its first since '96 that year. Some of the history of this game, which started in '99 when the SWAC split into 2 divisions. Grambling has won 6 titles. Southern, the only other school that has won more than 1. They've won 2. Pine Bluff, this is the 2nd appearance, but they've not won a championship since 1966 when they were part of a 4-way tie. Worth mentioning, they left the SWAC in 1970, didn't rejoin until 1997, so weren't playing straight through. Clayton Moore with a strong throw right on target out to the 39. It's Zachary Pendleton, their 2nd leading receiver, for 19 yards.
Look at Clayton Moore. Patience in the pocket. Wait, rush gets right on him, still delivers a strike right between the numbers, trusting the offensive line. Fastball down the middle, 1st down JSU.
Zone read play. Moore keeps it off the left side. He's been a big part of their running game, their second leading rusher.
And that's been the change of Jackson State. Their previous offensive coordinator left from last season. He's no longer at JSU, so they brought in more running style, running attack, spread zone read. They had Casey Terrio for 2 years, who was the best passer in all of HBCU football. He graduated, moved on to the Canadian Football League. So when Clay Moore came down, they had to add the dimension of the run to their offensive attack. And it seems to be paying off well for them later in the season.
On second down and shorts, Tommy Gooden into the teeth of that run defense that gave up 320 yards on the ground in the first meeting. And you talked to Monty Coleman about that game, and he says it was simply we were trying to do too much to get out of position, and you can't do that against this huge offensive line JSU has.
Offensive line, athletic running backs, and in today's college football, when you've got that spread offense with that zone read, you must play assignment football. When you get out of your lane, opposing offenses make you pay.
From the 49 against a crowded box, Bill Ross stops Tommy Gooden. 3 yards, 2nd and 7.
And that's a good sign there for Arkansas Pine Bluff defensively. Jackson State went with the 2 tight end set, trying to gain an extra man on the line of scrimmage. Bill Ross was not fooled, able to come up and make another tackle for him on the season.
119 now to lead the SWAC for the guy from not too far from here, Wetumpka, Alabama, down near Montgomery.
JSU continues to try and crowd that box. You see a tight end and a fullback in the game to go along with the running back.
Option play. Here's Gooden with a nice cut. And Gooden's got a first down. Orion Shaw lays it on him. 8 yards to the 40.
We talk about assignment football. If they're going to run an option, every person has to be in place. Good play selection as he comes down the line of scrimmage. Got to take a look at the end man line of scrimmage. Does his job. He gets this hit on the quarterback. But at the end of the run, the tackler who was supposed to come up and make the tackle stumbles, and they're able to pick up big yardage there. You see there, Xavier Lofton got spun around. He was responsible for the running back.
On first down, looking long, got a man out there in stride for the touchdown. Rico Richardson. Jackson State strikes first.
Said the game plan was going to be simple. When the safeties come up, we must go up top and get the ball to our playmaker, Rico Richardson. You cannot guard him one-on-one. He takes advantage of the coverage by Jamel Maxwell, but Rico Richardson is going to be a problem for the Golden Lions of Arkansas Pine Bluff if they try to cover him with just one defender.
Ian Deason's extra point is good. The SWAC Offensive Player of the Year with a touchdown to start the scoring. Now has a catch in 36 consecutive games. A guy that was going to leave school after his freshman year because he was homesick has stuck around, and 141 career receptions later has Jackson State in front in the first.
Touchdown! And here comes the dunk. Everyone loves to dunk.
Will he dunk it? Yes, he will.
McDonald's tender, juicy Chicken McNuggets in creamy ranch and spicy buffalo sauce. Just $4.99 for 20 of your favorite Chicken McNuggets.
Will he dunk it? Yes, he will.
More ways to love McNuggets. Hydration where you least expect it. From your razor, Schick Hydro. Hydrating gel helps to reduce irritation.
The sonic boom of the South. Jackson State band excited about this 7-0 start for JSU. Band first organized back in the early 40s. That orchestra is at Jackson State in the 20s, but the first marching band early 1940s. Rico Richardson, SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. About 25 yards a game more than any other player in the SWAC. And his long touchdown starts the scoring in the SWAC championship game. Ryan Deasing to kick it Andre Mitchell and Alton Taylor. Alton Taylor from the 6. Taylor with some room to get to the 28. Arkansas Pine Bluff has been dominant in the first quarter this season. Now that touchdown they gave up to Jackson State, just the second first quarter touchdown of the year. Both have come from Jackson State.
So if you take away Jackson State, then all they've given up has been a field goal all season long to all of their competition. Little cause for concern, but I think this is the team that's built to wear you out. And I guess with their philosophy of trying to get as many plays called, the question at the end of this game is going to be, how tired is the Jackson State defensive unit in the fourth quarter?
3 and out, first time around. This drive starts on the ground with Billings, who will get his face mask pulled after a loss, but that play was blown up by Luis McLeod. Vic Brakefield, our head referee today. Apollo Martin, the umpire.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 26, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Goes on Ryan Griffin.
And this is the tough one. They had Armstead coming around the pool, but they've got Billings sniffed out in the backfield. But right there, you see Ryan Griffin grabs the face mask. Officials call it. Be a first down for Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Boy, they got some big boys up the middle. You've got Luis McLeod, 330 pounds. Jonathan Billups, 320 pounds of the D tackles for Jackson State. And the D ends very good. Joe LeBeau, 14 in white, one of the top performers in the league. And 4 seniors up front. That's the strength of the defense.
And so much so that the defensive coordinator for Jackson State said, just point simple, they can't block my guys. I've got a defensive line that can get it, particularly in the middle. When you talk about Jonathan Billups and McLeod, they think that that's where the game's going to be won, right over the center with the defensive tackles.
On first down off play action, Anderson with a deep drop, looking for Eckwood. That ball's intercepted. Clay Cox with his 5th of the season. That leads to SWAC. And in 2 games against Pine Bluff, twice he's picked off Ben Anderson.
Quay Cox, one of the best defensive backs in the conference, goes up and just wins this football battle right there on the field. You talk about Cox, go up and get it at its highest point. Good job by Ladarius Eckwood trying to cause the breakup, but Cox was not going to be denied. This is the Jackson State secondary that only has 8 interceptions coming into this game. 4 of those were by Cox. Now they've got 9, and he's got 5 INTs.
To lead the league for the first team All-SWAC performer. So Jackson State takes over at the 21. Off play action. Moore showing off his speed and getting 8 yards to the 29, where Xavier Lofton drops in. 2nd and 2.
See, Coach Coleman has an opportunity to take a look. Clayton Moore making the quick decision, realizing it's not there, picking up some sort of positive yardage on first down.
Second and 2. Gooden bouncing to the outside and sticking his nose down to get a first down and a gain of 7. Jerian Harris made the tackle. Well, the NCAA Division III football championship is on ESPNU Friday night. Winner of St. Thomas and Oshkosh against the winner of Mount Union and Mary Hardin Baylor. NCAA Division III football championship presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car Friday at 7 on ESPNU. Mount Union, of course, has been there 7 straight seasons. A flag down before the snap.
Starting to wonder, does anybody else play Division III football besides Mount Union?
Well, it was Mount Union and Wisconsin Whitewater every year. Whitewater didn't even make the playoffs this year, so some kind of parity.
Offsides. Defense. 95. 5-yard penalty. First down.
No Stag Bowl taking place next Friday night. Sean Robinson Call for the offsides. That'll move it up 5 to the 40. Monty Coleman said his biggest concern against this Jackson State team was their balance and how they can beat you in so many ways.
And that's where they're favorable, because they threw the ball so much last year and they added the extra dimension of running the football this year. This is a very well-balanced offensive unit. We saw the ability to run the football. We've definitely seen the ability of Clayton Moore to connect with Rico Richardson.
Moore turned the wrong way, and they'll have to keep it right into the arms of the SWAC's leading tackler, Bill Ross, for 2. We're to be 2nd and 3. And Moore good and going the wrong way. Ross with yet another stop. Akeem Sims checks in for the first time at running back. The shiftier of the two guys. Sims and Gooden both very good with his Jackson State offense. Both guys ran for 100 yards. So did Clayton Moore when they saw Pine Bluff the first time back in early October. Out of the eye, first touch of the day for Sims, who's got a first down to midfield. Rakeem Sims, a redshirt sophomore out of Mississippi, with a gain of 8.
When the fullback's in the game, follow him, Joe. Take a look at number 47, Stedman Kapler, right behind the quarterback. Watch the collision right in the middle of the hole to spring the running back on this play. This is the way you do it right here. Good lead block, wham. You show me a good fullback with a lead block, I'll show you a successful running play.
5'11", 250.
250, just a freshman. He's got some room to grow.
Play action this time. Got rid of it just in time and sailed at the pressure from Robinson, forcing the high throws. He looked for Deshaun McKenzie. 2nd and 10. First incompletion of the game for Moore. Took over the full-time job week 3 after sharing reps with Dedrick McDonald during the first 2 games, both of which were losses to FBS opponents. On 2nd and 10, Moore is pressured and dropped at the line of scrimmage. Brandon Thurman, the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, who's leading the country in sacks. Won't quite get credit for one there on a short game, but his presence felt early.
Yeah, you're going to see Thurman right here. Never give up on the play. Come upfield and locate the quarterback. Great job of keeping that motor going. This is what makes him special. Can't get to him this way. Spin move. Catch him on the backside. If you want to be a great defensive lineman, you've got to have that engine. Even when the ball looks like it's going away from you, chase it down. That's why he's such a special football player.
Jackson State, top 3rd down team in the SWAC, out of an empty set. Thurman pressuring again. Moore keeping the play alive for a first down. It's Zachary Pendleton to the 37. And that was all Clayton Moore with his feet in the pocket to extend the play.
Clayton Moore did a good job of buying time in the pocket. You don't always have to leave the pocket. You're going to see Moore recognize the pressures there, step around to the right, go back, now come back into the pocket, knows he's going to get hit, but delivers a catchable ball so they can pick up the first down. That's good quarterback play by Clayton Moore.
Akron transfer in his first season at Jackson State, and they say that the team's really responded to him. Won the team over with his leadership. Rakeem Sims on the ground with a seam, and Sims is going to go for the touchdown. 37 yards, all Jackson State early.
This is just power football on display right now by Jackson State. Follow the fullback again. Kapler wins that battle there. Blows Bill Ross off the ball. Wide open running lane for Rakeem Sims to go into the end zone. The Tigers are getting physical at the line of scrimmage.
Extra point from BC. 14-0 Jackson State. Arkansas Pine Bluff had given up 10 points in the first quarter all season. And in the first 10 minutes of this SWAC championship, 14 for Jackson State, trying to win its 17th title.
The 481.
Raheem Sims had a touchdown in the first meeting between these two teams, and he's got a touchdown in the first quarter from 37 to make it 14-0 Jackson State.
We talked about them playing assignment football. Well, this case, they're not going to do enough. I want you to take a look at linebacker Bill Ross. He's going to get hit right here, but also take a look at the play of the free safety, Kevin Rucker. He's going to come up with the missed tackle there. When you're playing assignment football, he's got to be there to make that tackle. He misses, allows Sims to go into the end zone untouched. When you play free safety, you are the last line of defense. You cannot miss tackles in the open field. Jackson State makes them pay.
So now how does Arkansas Pine Bluff respond? Easton's kick taken by Andre Mitchell, speedy true freshman. And Mitchell's caught down at the 13. Tremendous special teams play that time by Joe Perry. So Pine Bluff, a team that is the best running offense in the SWAC, down by 2 touchdowns in the first quarter.
You can tell the special teams play keeps them going, gets the crowd into it, and right now this game is being played at a neutral site here in Birmingham, but momentum is on the side of Jackson State with their fan base and crowd, and they've got Arkansas Pine Bluff on the ropes early. It's time for Arkansas Pine Bluff to try and respond, and they've got to get a long drive and at least cross midfield.
They bring in Aaron LeGrone at running back. He's got just a little more than 100 yards on this season. They go out the back door with Billings for a couple. But again, it's a team that runs the football better than any other in the SWAC. Are they still at a point in the game where they can stick to the game plan?
Sure. One long drive is what you need right now to slow down the momentum for Jackson State. And if you're going to run the football, go behind that left tackle, number 70. Ron Armstead, force feed him the ball.
Billings again. Defense for Jackson State strong. It'll be 3rd down, and let's look at our impact players. Justin Billings.
It's Justin Billings, second leading rusher in the SWAC conference. He's got to be able to get some extra yards after contact when he's running the football. And if you're talking about Jackson State defensively, it all starts with Jonathan Billups. They said they expect to win the battle in the trenches because of Jonathan Billups. He was selected second team all SWAC. The coaches feel like he was robbed. He's going to come out here today to prove that he's the best interior defensive lineman in the conference.
Part of a defense top 15 in the country against the run. That was going to be the key today. On 3rd and 5, Anderson steps out of the pocket, throws on the move, right on target for Thomas Winters, and a 1st down. There is a flag down back at the line of scrimmage.
You can see Armstead there. They're going to try and get a speed rusher on Armstead there, but look at the footwork of Armstead, how he's able to handle a quick outside linebacker, move right in front of him, take him down to the ground. That takedown, you wonder they're going to call that a hold. He kind of beat him up so bad.
And they do.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one for your Armstead. How do you win that battle when they decide to have a light defensive end in a stand-up position go against you? You get in front of him and body him, and he's so strong he's able to just throw him to the ground, call him for the holding penalty.
What a matchup that is. Armstead, who's a sure NFLer, against Joseph LeBeau, who's the preseason Defensive Player of the Year in the conference, wound up 1st team SWAC.
That should be the matchup you want to watch, and considering the fact that Armstead has not allowed a single sack this season, you've got to think LeBeau's got to just give that extra energy and effort if he's going to have any hopes of getting Ben Anderson in the backfield.
So instead of a 1st down, it's 3rd and 14. This could be a free play. Anderson will run with some room, and Ben Anderson runs for a 1st down. 20-yard scamper with a flag down at the line of scrimmage for what is likely offsides.
Offsides. Defense. Number 56. Result of the play is a 1st down. That penalty declined.
So Anderson gets it done with his feet.
You'll see him just kind of get that jump there, trying to anticipate the snap count. Ball snap right when he's in the neutral zone, very close, but great job of escaping the blitz by Ryan Griffin on the outside by Ben Anderson, showing you the ability to recognize the blitz and also escape from the blitzing linebacker.
First down from the 29. Anderson behind LeGrone gets thrown down at the line of scrimmage by Javaris Connor. Defensive line with 4 seniors, the key to this very talented unit.
And that's going to be a staple for head coach Rick Comity. His background was as a defensive coordinator. When you see defensive coordinators that become head coaches, they rely upon the defensive line and the linebackers to really set the tempo for the football team. And at Jackson State, it's no different. They're led by this strong defensive front.
LeGrone behind Armstead for 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 4. Luis McLeod made the stop.
And this is a situation where you've got to like your play selection choices here. If you're offensive coordinator Eric Dooley, 3rd and 4, you know you can run the football behind Armstead if needed. But you've also got a quarterback that can run and pick up big pieces of yardage when called upon.
Get a pretty good spot, so 3rd and 3 instead. Anderson to throw on the out pattern for C.J. Branch, his tight end, who had a first down. There's a flag in the backfield, and now a flag after the play. And they do spot him with enough for a first down. St. Forward momentum got it there. And Vic Brakefield will tell us if it'll stand up. Both these teams heavily penalized. Jackson State, top 20 in the country when it comes to penalties. Arkansas Pine Bluff, the 4th most penalized team in the country.
And that's a trend we've seen. Normally when you see very aggressive defenses that don't surrender a lot of points, they tend to get penalized for that extra aggression. It shows up on the field sometimes in the form of a yellow flag. That case there for Jackson State, a little chippy after the play was over.
And the Pine Bluff players clapping, liking what they're hearing out of this conversation.
I definitely think number 35, Mike Hill, is going to get called for a personal foul. Respond. It looked like he put a shove to the face mask of the ball carrier for Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. 15-yard penalty. 15 yards, automatic first down. We also, after the play, we have personal foul, offense, number 5, and defense, number 20. Those penalties offset. It'll be first down, Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Thomas Winters and Quay Cox in those offsetting penalties.
Yeah, let's see here. Ball is gone. That's actually going to be Jonathan Billups going to put a hit on the quarterback on the left side of your screen. And then towards the end of the run, you're going to see the extracurricular activity when the ball carrier gets up. There's a little scrum right there. And see, that's 35 Hill going at it pretty good with Thomas Winters. And see that shove right there. I don't think they meant to call it on Quay Cox. I'm pretty sure it was on Mike Hill. Hill's very fortunate. Normally they always catch that second guy. He did a shove to the helmet, which could have been an ejection from this game.
Good job by the SWAC crew to sort it out, and a first down for Pine Bluff at the 44. First time they've moved into Jackson State territory in this opening quarter. A toss to the short side for Billings, who got a good block to get to the sideline, and Justin Billings is up to the 27. A run of 17 yards for the SWAC's second leading rusher.
It wasn't there. I mean, they had the line of scrimmage won, but Billings with a nice little shake here. Watch this little in and out right there, giving himself 6 extra yards there. Billings showing you why he's the second leading rusher in the SWAC. He's got a little pep to his step. Small at 5'8", only 175 pounds, but the junior from El Dorado, Arkansas, not afraid to mix it up and show you what he's got.
Block came from Jeremy Edmonds on that play. They throw a screen against pressure for Desmond Beverly, who spins his way for close to a first down. First team All-SWAC, listed as a tight end in the All-SWAC teams, but he's a receiver and just filled that spot in the All-SWAC team.
Because he's got the side, but this is what you're taught to do. Once you're going to get a wide receiver screen, come back to the inside. They're going to bring the right tackle out here to clear the lane for him.
Billings has a first down. Cox for the stop.
Quick tempo right there. I can't even get through our telestration, but that's what Arkansas Pine Bluff wants to do. Wear down this Jackson State defense, and if they can get a long drive, you notice you don't see a number of white jerseys coming in and out from the sideline. Jackson State keeps their base personnel on the field at all times.
Back to Billings, a strong first down run, and finally some positive movement for this Pine Bluff offense. Tederick Terrell with a stop. It'll be 2nd and 5.
And this is what a good team does. They respond. They were down 14-0. They needed to cross midfield. Now they're knocking on the door, trying to put points on the board.
10th play of the drive. Big hole for LeGrone, who sets up 1st and goal. Ball came out when it hit the ground. Wow. Jonathan Billups with a tackle.
Look at Teron Armstead on this play here. You want to talk about pancakes. Joseph LeBeau just gets taken to the ground. You're going to see him right up here at the top. He's got an eye on him. That's his guy. Look where he ends up. Have a seat, son.
What a battle that's going to be to watch as this day rolls on.
6'5", 320 pounds, 4.8 40-yard dash. They say don't be surprised if he runs a 4.7 for the NFL scouts. If he runs that 4.7, we'll see you on Sundays.
Well, Jackson State with 2 touchdowns in this first quarter, up 14-0. Timeout taken. Now, yesterday, 7 players on this Jackson State team graduated. And graduation was today. Obviously couldn't do that, so the school accommodated it and let them move it up to yesterday. They joined the team last night after the walkthrough, but a really special thing that those guys were able to do and walk in the graduation.
And I think that was a quality move by Jackson State, letting you know the focus is on academics. And this is a school where they had some issues. They were ineligible for the postseason championship for the past 2 seasons because of some APR issues. Well, now their APR is above 970. 6 guys graduated yesterday, led by Joseph LeBeau. Coach Comedy and the staff have really turned things around at JSU and have them going in the right direction. Now, how often do you see a team call timeout
to keep the quarter alive?
Yeah, and they were tired.
Yeah.
They needed some rest because they don't do substitutions on defense.
And a flag down.
Start. Offense. Number 54. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Myron McClenny, the right tackle.
Now, if they can limit Arkansas Pine Bluff to a field goal attempt, that would be a wise timeout. I think Coach Comedy realized the defense was just getting tired. And when they're fresh, they can play and control the line of scrimmage. But because Arkansas Pine Bluff had a long drive going and they kept doing rapid-fire plays, we called a timeout, which may prove to be wise.
1st down and goal. Quarterback run for Anderson. Got drilled by Travis Woods. Still no signal.
That's a touchdown.
Still no signal. Touchdown. 9-yard run for Ben Anderson. 5th rushing touchdown of the year.
Just calling his own number. Collision at the goal line. He was able to get across to get the score and the points that they desperately needed. Time of safety came over to put the pop on him a little bit too late. Good hit by Travis Woods, but as a quarterback, you'll sacrifice your body for points on the scoreboard.
You know, you're reaching the end of the season when the number on the back of your jersey is ripped.
Yes.
Yeah, only one of those number 1s is full. There is replay in this SWAC championship.
The result of the play is a touchdown. Play is under review.
I don't think he's in.
When we got it, you know, what they're going to do is they're going to take a look at this. There is replay for this championship game. See, from that angle there, it looks like his butt was right on the goal line. Now, if you're looking for a knee down, I don't know if you'll be able to see clearly whether or not that knee was down short. It's probably our best look here. Knees up, butts down, but where's the ball? Is that the ball right there on the goal line, on the 1-yard line? Is it a little bit short, or is it on the white? I think if you're saying is there, what's our term?
Indisputable video evidence.
I don't think there's enough to overturn it. It's very close. He may not be in, but can we prove without a doubt that he was short. I mean, that's the hit. That's the knee. There. That's a good look. He's short.
I think the key is that the ball's in his right hand.
Yep. Had it been in the left arm.
And if that is the case, then that will finish this first quarter. And it'll still be 2nd and goal from the 1-foot line. We'll see what they decide. Again, during regular season games, there is not replay in the SWAC, but they do have it for here in the championship.
And one thing I learned before the game, Commissioner Dewar-Sharp says that the SWAC will have instant replay in their televised football games next season.
After further review, the runner was short of the goal line. It'll be 2nd down at the half-yard line.
When the second quarter begins. Well, the first quarter dominated for the most part by Jackson State. But Arkansas Pine Bluff, after sputtering for 2 drives, getting it going. 14-0 through 1 quarter in the SWAC championship game. Richardson had a touchdown. Cox had a pick. Jackson State cruising.
Kick off the most wonderful time of the year with the Bold Preview Show, Wednesday on ESPNU.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, look, honey, it's Santa.
I thought I heard reindeer. Mom, Mrs. Nelson, I have the perfect gift for you.
You must have gotten my letter. Oh, Santa.
Save 25% on any Citizen watch. Fueled by light, never needs a battery. At Kay, the #1 jewelry store in America.
These are for me, right?
Every kiss begins with K.
Give a garden. You want to give one special gift. It shows that you love what they do. It gives them cheer all through the year. You always hear, thank you. Give a garden. Give a garden. Find something fun for everyone. Garmin.com, Garmin.com.
Oh, manly pants from Fire Hose you're made of. With pockets that hold all my tools and room enough for family jewels. They're tougher than a beaver's teeth. Oh, manly Fire Hose pants. Duluth Trading Fire Hose work pants. Tougher than an angry beaver's teeth. Get a pair at DuluthTrading.com and have a manly Christmas.
That one, Daddy. It's beautiful.
I'm the world's greatest Douglas fir. I'm the perfect shape. I'm the perfect color. My scent, like making love to a lumberjack. But halfway home, my twine gets loose. And your cut rate insurance might not pay for this. So get Allstate, where you can save money and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
You're watching ESPNU College Football presented by McDonald's. It's 14-0 Jackson State as we begin the second quarter, but a 2nd down and goal for Arkansas Pine Bluff. And they finally started to put something together. First 2 drives for him produced just 8 yards. This here will be the 13th play of this drive, which has gone 86 yards.
Now they've got the ball, say about on the 1-foot line.
Yeah.
Where should they go with this football?
I go behind big number 70.
I get to the left side, get over there behind Armstead and Savage, who's a guard that weighs 325 pounds as well.
How about that? That was easy. Anderson is in for the touchdown. And right behind Teron Armstead for the score. And Pine Bluff finally on the board in the SWAC championship.
That's a different way to run the quarterback sneak, but you know Armstead's going to win his battle. Absolutely just caged down the defender in front of him. Mobile quarterback like Ben Anderson able to get to the outside and cross the goal line for the score.
So Anderson, who thought he had a touchdown to finish the first quarter, gets one to begin the second. 5th rushing score of the season, capping this excellent drive for Pine Bluff. And Tyler Strickland adds the extra point. winding down in the college football season. There's so much movement as far as coaches go. How about the guys that have stuck around and done a good job?
Kevin Sumlin. Who would have thought that Texas A&M would have taken the SEC by storm the way that he did? 10-2, fantastic job in his first year at Texas A&M, coming over from Houston, and one of the great stories of the season, I think. The Irish are back, Joe. Ryan Kelly playing for a national championship against one of the toughest schedules in all college football. And Dave Dorn, anytime you can crash the BCS the way that Northern Illinois did, not Boise State, not Utah, Northern Illinois, playing in the Orange Bowl. Dave Dorn's on his way to North Carolina State. Fantastic job there representing the MAC.
Ramani Coleman is a finalist for the FCS Coach of the Year, the Andy Robinson Award. What about the job he's done with this program? Won 2 SWAC games in 2008, 3 in 2009, 4 in 2010, 5 last year, 8 this year.
That's got the chart going in the right direction in the win column total. And what a great man to be around. You talk about a coach that's respected on and off the field by his players. Played for over a decade in the National Football League, all with the Washington Redskins. Now, trade all that in to get this ring for the championship, winning the SWAC.
Only one player has played more games in Redskins history.
Gerald Green.
Got it. Now to the 32, Tim Ross. Jackson State to begin its first possession of the second quarter. Well, ESPNU has a college basketball doubleheader tomorrow. First at 4, Maine takes on Florida State. Then at 6, it's number 21, UNLV against Cal. Maine and Florida State at 4, then UNLV against Cal at 6 o'clock. All on ESPNU. Also live on the Watch ESPN app. ESPN, the home court, college hoops. Impeccable balance in that first quarter for this Jackson State offense. They begin the second quarter with play action. Moore dumps it off to an open Stedman Kapler, the 250-pounder running for a first down to the 48. Jerian Harris with a stop as Kapler gets his second catch of the year.
I mean, they've got Moore surrounded. It's just a matter of Brandon Thurman can't find him. He's looking, and right when he finds him, there's another white jersey that stops him. Kapler sitting by his lonesome in the flat, able to make the catch and pick up the first down.
True freshman out of Ridgeland, Mississippi, who's been a big part of the run game so far out of this I formation.
I really like how Moore trusts his offensive lineman. He's not looking to run and get flushed out of the pocket.
On first down, it's Gooden. He gets 4. We're talking about coaches. It's hard to keep up at this point. Brett Bielema going from Wisconsin to Arkansas. What's with that move? What do you see there?
That was a surprise, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, if you're a coach, you really want to make it, you want to see how you do in the SEC. And I think that's what he's trying to do. And Gus Malzahn's going back to the SEC after a great run at Arkansas State, which they won the Sun Belt crown in his only year coaching there. And Butch Jones on his way to Tennessee.
Coach Malzahn taking Rhett Lashley from Arkansas State, who was his OC there, to join him at Auburn. Second down and 5. Moore looking to the sideline with a perfectly placed throw away from the defense for Rico Richardson. 8 yards and a first down to the 40. And the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year's second reception of the day.
Showing you that he's the complete wide receiver. You know, there was a time in Jackson State history where if you were a wide receiver, that's where you went. You went to Jackson State. You wanted to be Jimmy Smith, played at Jackson State. And they had T.C. Taylor and Guy Story and all these guys that went on and played in the NFL. Jackson State was known for wide receivers, and Rico Richardson is trying to be that next generation of Jackson State wideout to make an impact in the NFL.
He comes into the day needing just 205 yards to set the single season record at Jackson State.
Ball start, offense, number 1, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Right now, needing about 150. That says something when you rattle off those names that have played receiver there.
That was the spot to go to, and you talk to coaches about him. How fast is he? Football speed. They used to say the same thing about another wide receiver from Mississippi by the name of Jerry Rice. Football speed. Say Richardson can finish off his blocks, runs good routes, great hands.
First and 15, option play. Blocks on the edge for Gooden. We're not there. And he's thrown down by David Watson up from his corner spot. Gain of a yard, 2nd and 14.
This is the assignment football that Coach Coleman was talking about. And watch Jerian Harris, number 51, track down this play from his outside linebacker position. When they run the option, he's got to make this tackle in the open field, or else this is going to be a big gainer. Beats his guy. He's got to make that tackle, holds on just enough so that the rest of the black jerseys can come over and finish up the job. Jerian Harris coming back is a big deal for Arkansas Pine Bluff. As a freshman, he was all SWAC newcomer of the year. Missed last season as a sophomore, came back for his junior year. They've been rewarded by being here in this championship game.
2nd and 14. Twist gets to him, gets rid of it, but it's too tall for Pendleton. And it's 3rd and 14.
Look at Coach Comegys watching what the offense can dial up there. They've moved the ball a little bit across midfield. But I'm sure he would have been the first one to tell you a 14-point lead wouldn't be enough. You need to get this 3rd down conversion on 3rd and extremely long.
Top 3rd down team in the SWAC against one of the top 6 3rd down defenses in the country. 7 drop into coverage. A flag down. It's going to be a hold on Pyatt, the left tackle. Moore still keeps it alive and will throw it underneath. Pendleton gets a few, but
Moore was 25 yards deep. So when he threw the ball, he ended up throwing the ball back to the line of scrimmage to a wide receiver.
Yeah. Going to be 71, the left tackle, Zion Pyatt.
Cody. Offense. Number 71. That field is declined. 4th down.
A good job declining and realizing where you are now. You're going to see this is Pyatt right here. And when you got a quarterback that's scrambling all over the place, he's going to kind of lose track of where he is. He's got him there, but I don't know. Wow, a lot of scrambling there, and because of where the ball was caught, just right back to the original line of scrimmage, not in field goal range. They declined the penalty. JSU's going to punt it away.
Tony Dean, the punter. Andre Mitchell back at his own 10. And they will begin this drive at the 13. Arkansas Pine Bluff was in a 14-0 hole, but now with a drive with a chance to tie the game.
I see the sunshine come, little by little I'll be bringing it home. Don't need your rain no more, little by little I can make it all come. I see the sunshine come, little by little I'll be bringing it home.
For a refreshingly real ginger taste, grab a Canada Dry Ginger Ale. Real ginger, real taste.
You can too, with the Old Spice Champion.
The 2012 SWAC Football Championship is brought to you by City Price Rewind. Buy now, save later. Back in Birmingham, Alabama. The Magic City, as they call it. Downtown, beautiful downtown area there. Building a new ballpark right now for the old Birmingham Barons, which is, of course, for Michael Jordan. Played his minor league ball. We're here at Legion Field. SWAC championship game. Arkansas Pine Bluff trying to cap one of the best seasons in school history with their first title since 1966. We're in a Jackson State team that started 2-4, won 5 in a row to get here, trying to win its 17th SWAC championship. It was 14-0 after a quarter. Pine Bluff scored on its first play of the second quarter. And now back to work with Justin Billings off the right side for 4. John McNabb there for the stop. It'll be 2nd and 6. Let's take a look at our HBCU power rankings from Jay.
No on the bubble anymore. At this point in the season, you're either in or you're out. Howard, number 5, second place in the MEAC Conference. Great job by them. Number 4, Jackson State. Started slow. Look where they are. Number 3, Tennessee State, Big Blue. They faltered at the end. Number 2, taking a look at them, Arkansas Pine Bluff. And number 1 team right now, my power rankings, Bethune-Cookman University.
Anderson with a speed out off of the chest of Desmond Beverly. 3rd down.
Now, when you talk about the power rankings, there were some Jackson State coaches on the field before the game telling me, you're not showing us any respect. I mean, we're here, we've been winning, we've got one of the best teams in HBCU football. What took us so long to crack the top 5? Well, you guys got off to a 2-4 start.
Yeah.
I give them credit. They've been winning all the games they've needed to win for the past 5 weeks of the season. And if they knock off Arkansas Pine Bluff, I'll make some changes.
Ben Anderson right at 50%. He's got quad receivers stacked to the near side. And he's got a free play. Anderson down the sideline. Looking for Eckwood. Now it's 3rd and about 5.5. Let's see exactly where his 5-yard penalty puts him. Second time we've seen that, though, on a hard count on 3rd down, getting Jackson State to come off sides. Well, I think we're about to find out. The suspense is killing me, though.
Side. 97. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Okay, so they're still just short. That time Jamal Carter, senior from here in Alabama, Livingston, Alabama. 3rd and about a foot. You going behind Armstead, left side?
I would, but keep in mind, I think other teams know that that's where they like to go when they do quarterback sneaks and power running. Wouldn't be surprised if you saw him just try and go to the right side this time, use Armstead as a decoy. Oh, wow.
False start, C.J. Branch, the tight end.
False start. Offense. Number 7. 3rd down.
It's all right, back to where they were. Now what do you call?
Go back to that play with the quad formation and the one-on-one coverage on the top side. But how does that happen at this point during the season? You should know your short yardage packages. You know your quarterback's voice.
Pine Bluff, the 4th most penalized team in the country. So back to 3rd and about 5. Here comes pressure, so they've got room in the middle, and that should be pass interference, and it is. That would have beaten Quay Cox. With a blitz coming from the safeties, they had one-on-one with a slant. Cox was beaten.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll see a more clear example of pass interference. Before the ball gets here, you're going to see Anderson throw the ball to the right side, quick slant. Cox is all over him. Did a good job of getting his left arm around, but the right arm was completely draped around Eckwood. That's an easy call. 1st down for the golden line.
And it's not a bad penalty, because if Quay Cox doesn't do that, that could be a touchdown.
When you're blitzing and you get beat to the inside, you know there's no help on the inside. So Cox was doing as instructed. Lose position and coverage, hold on to him.
Already 5 penalties for a total of 47 yards for Jackson State. 11 now within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage until Woods backs off. Anderson wanted to throw to Eckwood, but he fell down. And then Loeffler got to him for his 3rd sack of the season. He had Eckwood on a curl to the top of your screen, but Eckwood lost his footing.
That's where he wants to go. He's looking to his left, trying to come back right. Nobody there. He's stuck with the football. Fortunate that he didn't turn over that ball. Instead, big play by the Jackson State defense, led by number 38, Travis Woods, able to get to the backfield, I should say, of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
More than 3 sacks a game. You saw that's 3rd at the FCS level.
Number 1 in the SWAC.
2nd down and 19. More pressure and another sack. It's Loeffler again. JUCO transfer that's had a great season. Defensive coordinator Darren Hayes says it's a travesty that this guy didn't make all SWAC.
78 tackles on the season, which led this Jackson State defensive unit. He's another guy coming to play with a chip on his shoulder. You're going to see him shoot the gap and watch him just destroy the one-on-one block by the running back. Loeffler's out on a mission to seek and destroy. Back-to-back sacks for the Tigers.
Against an offensive line second best in the SWAC in sacks allowed. 3rd and a quarter with the field. This time they drop 7 into coverage and still get pressure. Anderson is sacked again. Jamal Carter was there first. 3 consecutive sacks for this JSU defense.
Right now you see there, you don't see number 70, Teron Armstead, not in the game. And when that happens, they bring the backup, Mikael Carter, in to play the left tackle. Not able to solidify the left side, and another sack.
Quay Cox with a fair catch on a good punt from Aaron Godwin to punt of 44 yards. So Jackson State's defense turns up the heat. The offense back to the field when we come back.
It's that time of year again. Time for City Price Rewind, because your daughter really wants that pink castle thing. And you really don't want to pay more than you have to. Only City Price Rewind automatically searches for the lowest price. And if it finds one...
Well, 3 straight sacks by Jackson State on that last possession with Teron Armstead not in the game, and they've taken his pads off. Taking a look at his left shoulder. Now, while he was out, Jackson State really turned it up defensively.
Yeah, when we talk about him being an impact player, he's on that left edge there. Well, that one there was just one where they lost track of, but that's where he left the game there. Then they bring in the backup, and then the pressure just continues on and on and on. And then on the crucial 3rd down, from that left tackle position where Armstead would be, they've got the backup, Mikael Carter in the game. 3 consecutive sacks, something that this Arkansas Pine Bluff team is not accustomed to doing. And whether or not he returns to this football game, I think, will be a key to the 2012 SWAC championship.
Boy, is he big. I'm talking like defensive end big.
Joe, you know, when you get to the NFL, all those guys look like that.
Yeah.
But not all of them can run like that.
So Jackson State takes over. Clayton Moore skips it. Looking for Deshaun McKenzie, 2nd and 10.
Be a good opportunity for Jackson State. Try and put together a good drive here. About 9 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. You're up by a score. But when you've got a team that's relying upon wearing down your defense, you want your offense to stay on the field for as much time as possible. Probably utilize the running game now instead of throwing the football with Clayton Moore. I'd pound it, see if they can get the rushing total numbers high.
We've got both tailbacks in the game. They run double option with a shovel pass attached to it. Instead, Moore keeps it. Good job by Arkansas Pine Bluff on defense. Ryan Shaw with a tackle, and it's 3rd and looks like about 9 coming up.
In obvious passing situations, if you're Arkansas Pine Bluff, find where number 83 lines up. You see what they've done all year. They've done a great job. Points allowed, throw that out the window right now. You're trying to just have one more point than your competitor, but I'd locate Rico Richardson right now when the ball was broken. Make sure he does not have one-on-one coverage.
Third down and 8. Moore is pressured, and he is sacked. It's Anthony Smith with his first sack of the season. The backup to Brandon Thurman.
There's nowhere to go. Good job on the stunt. Beats the guard on the inside, sticks with him, holds on to him by the ankle. This is the Pine Bluff defense that had 34 sacks on the season, which was good for 2nd place in the SWAC.
Yeah, we talk about Jackson State being top 5 in the country in sacks. Well, UAPB is top 15 in the country. Just under 3 sacks a game. Tony Dean to punt. Andre Mitchell waits deep. Almost blocked. Flag comes out. Mitchell to the 31. Line drive punt of 48, but a flag down.
They really need this to be running into the kicker. Because if anything else, it'll be that 1st down. But he's giving the signal to be the 5-yard penalty.
And if you're Jackson State, you maybe decline it. That's a pretty darn good punt, good coverage.
I think the point you talked about, if you're Coach Comedy, so often you want to accept that penalty, but because it's 4th and more than 15 yards, still a long way to go. I think you accept the job that your punt cover team did a great job. There was absolutely no return.
Boy, they're taking a while to sort it out. Taron Armstead with his pads back on, looking like he's ready to come in. Arkansas Pine Bluff really needs him. Left tackle, NFL prospect.
Come on, fella. This is the play here. I mean, left his feet, ran into the punter. That's the obvious one. Got the indication it was the 5-yard variety, so.
I mean, geez, what could we possibly be talking about at this point?
Patience, young fellas, patience. They'll let us know sooner or later.
Later.
Yeah, too late for soon.
Yeah.
Personal foul.
Whoa.
Roughing the kicker.
Whoa.
15 yards. Automatic first down.
Automatic. So they changed it. So it went from being the running into the kicker for 5 yards to roughing the kicker. And it left his feet. And they're going to protect him at all costs. A pretty easy call there, but I think the decision to change from running into the kicker to roughing the kicker is what they had to talk about.
That is a big, big call. So drive extended for Jackson State. Offense that got off to a hot start has been shut down since.
Follow the fullback.
Kapler leading the way for good. Jarvis Webb up to make the stop after a gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
What a momentum changer there. You talked about it, Joe, it being a huge mistake on special teams. The offense is getting ready to get the football back with a chance to tie and use a little bit of the clock instead to give the ball back to Jackson State. They can take their time coming out of the huddle. They can put some points on the board. What a huge swing that would be.
Rakeem Sims replaces Tommy Gooden at running back. And here is Sims. Flying up from the secondary was Webb. Good sequence for him. Back-to-back tackles. Looked like there was maybe some space there. But Webb shut it down, and it's 3rd and 5.
Right now, you just have the feeling that Jackson State realizes they got second life with that. They'll try and take a little bit of this clock down. No rush. See them just taking the time, getting the line of scrimmage, and realizing running the football is becoming harder at this point. I think they're going to rely on the passing game and the right arm of Clayton Moore.
Seven in the box for Arkansas Pine Bluff on this 3rd down and 4 play. Straight downhill and a 1st down. How about that? Rakeem Sims. Jerian Harris with a tackle.
This is a statement right here. 3rd and 4, you think we're going to pass it? We're going to get physical with you. Once again, that matchup. Kapler, Ross in the hole, allowing Sims to pick up the 1st down. And that's a statement. You call run plays on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 yards, pounding the football, taking your time. They're saying, let's slow down the tempo of this game. Great job of coaching and strategy by Coach Comedy.
Yeah, there's 7 in the box, but there's 7 blockers as well. Moore. Smart decision, 2nd and 10.
You talked about it there. They've got 7 guys around the line of scrimmage, but what Jackson State is showing is they're not willing to allow more to be responsible for finding a loose runner or a blitzer coming. They're giving them maximum protection, running 3-man routes. When you bring that type of pressure, normally you walk away with a quarterback sack or a big play, but that case, good offensive line play by JSU and good secondary play by Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Extra man and pass coverage on 2nd and 10. That ball's almost intercepted by Webb. Jarvis Webb has been everywhere on this possession.
And watch the crossing route. This ball is designed to go in the middle of the field. They've got the middle linebacker in a bind. One guy running to the right, to the left. He's not even looking. Wide receiver knew he was clearly a decoy going up the seam. That ball was designed to go to one of the 2 crossers right in front of the face of quarterback Clayton Moore. He just made up his mind he was going to try and force feed the ball to Richardson down the seam.
JSU top 3rd down team in the SWAC. They're 2 for 5 on 3rd downs today.
Watch Brandon Thurman.
Quarterback draw, and Moore has a 1st down. Needed 10, got about 10.5 before Bill Ross brought him down. And that is a tough one to swallow if you're the Golden Lions.
Quarterback draw. Nobody expected it. Clayton Moore showing you he's got some athletic ability. And what a great play call by Derek McCall, the offensive coordinator for JSU.
Here's Moore again. Another big hole. More than 100 yards in the ground in the first meeting between these 2 teams. But who didn't? Had 3 rushers with 100. But fumbled 4 times. Lost that game by 10 back in October. Second best rushing offense in the SWAC. Recommitting to the ground game with Casey Terrio leaving. Moore, a guy that can run it, coming here. Moore with another carry, and Thurman pulled him down by his helmet. It's going to be a 1st down.
Clayton Moore did a good job of letting the officials know. Thurman beat his man off the line of scrimmage. Grabs him from the back. Does he grab the helmet, or is it the shoulder pad?
There's no foul on the play. There's a horse collar tackle, and it's inside the tackle box. 3rd down.
Okay. So no penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's a good one. That's one of the rule changes that they said. You can't have a horse collar tackle inside the tackle box, in between the tackles. Clearly the play takes place in between the tackles. They got it right. Brandon Thurman rewarded with another tackle for loss.
And a big 3rd down coming up here. 11th play of this Jackson State drive, extended by roughing the punter. Another quarterback run. Moore will reach. Ball came out.
That's a fumble.
They're spotting him down right at the 1st down marker. It depends on the spot then.
There was a big pile. I thought I saw a lunge with the football coming out. He takes a wallop on this when he knows he's short. He's extending the ball.
Good
Ground
call.
calls a good call.
Now it depends on the spot, and the officials will take a timeout to measure it. Well, by the looks of it here, he's pretty clearly got the 1st down. So then the change over.
It was close. I mean, the hit occurred. They had him there, but how was he able to keep that knee off the ground? Hurdles over. You know what? If you look at it that way, was he bobbling that ball as he was moving it forward?
Yeah, it's not going to be close. 1st down. One more look at the end of it.
I want to see the end. I mean, the effort he was hit, and there was some contact made. He's trying to extend the ball, and I think from one of the angles there, he's trying to move it forward with 2 hands. Nah, yeah, no ball.
So they convert on 3rd down, and this has been a really frustrating defensive possession for Arkansas Pine Bluff. They've gotten off of the field, but then a roughing the punter extended the drive. And Jackson State has slowly marched down the field. Moore has run it 6 times. Here he hands it off for Akeem Sims. Sims with a solid 1st down gain of 4. Giovanni Harvey, Ryan Shaw with a tackle, 2nd and 6. Let's look at the Verizon red zone numbers for Jackson State. They're 4th in the SWAC, but in the first meeting between these two teams, they were just 4 of 7 in the red zone. Ran for more than 300 yards, but turned it over 4 times, and 3 times came up empty-handed. Moved it inside the Pine Bluff 20. The first trip inside the 20 tonight. Both touchdowns came from long distance. 2nd down and 6, and play action for Moore. Back to his 2nd read. Perfectly done. Inside the 5 to the goal line and down at the 1. It was Deshaun McKenzie. What a job by Clayton Moore, patiently scanning the field and finding McKenzie sitting in the middle of the zone.
And look how much time he has in the pocket to go through his reads and his progressions. And a good effort by McKenzie.
Al Moore will sneak it. 7th carry of the drive for him. Dangerously reaches. Pine Bluff signaling that they've got the ball.
Now, was there a whistle to signal that they stopped forward progress?
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either. And that's the 2nd time that he's tried to reach this ball out. So they're going to try and do the hurry up right now.
Sims and Kapler, the running backs. Sneaking it again. This time he's in. Touchdown, Jackson State. What a drive, and what a deflating drive for Pine Bluff to have to endure. 16 plays, once extended by a penalty on a punt.
Now this is a score, so I'm sure they've got to take a look to make sure if he got in.
The touchdown. Play is under further review.
Woo. They stopped his momentum pretty quick. Right there, he's not. Goes back to, I don't think there's enough to overturn this.
Yeah, got to be indisputable video evidence, and you're not going to get that here.
They do a pretty good job of standing them up, pushing them backwards. And if he crossed the goal line, it was only for a split second, which is all you need. And that official coming in from that sideline.
Took up almost half of the quarter on that drive. 6:37, 16 plays. You'd assume that it'd stand with this 1-yard touchdown run for Moore, his 8th rush of the possession.
At the further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Moore's 11th rushing touchdown of the year. 22nd total. But it's back to a 2-score lead for Jackson State late in the 2nd.
Took 6.5 minutes off the clock, and talked about earlier, helped out by the roughing the punter penalty, which kept the drive alive, and a good team makes you pay when you make those type of mistakes.
Beeson's extra point is good. As the SWAC championship game rolls on. Heisman ceremonies tonight. Jay will preview the Heisman when we come back.
Kick off the most wonderful time of the year with the Bold Preview Show, Wednesday on ESPNU.
That one, Daddy. It's beautiful.
I'm the world's greatest Douglas fir. I'm the perfect shape. I'm the perfect color. My scent, like making love to a lumberjack. But halfway home, my twine gets loose. And your cut rate insurance might not pay for this. So get Allstate, where you can save money and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. So get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
For over 90 years, the Southwestern Athletic Conference has been transforming college athletes. With every play and every victory, our strength has multiplied. Now is our time to show the nation that we are the face of a new generation of college football. We are the future of college athletics. We are the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Honor the heritage.
Feeling buried by all the piles of paper in your home or office? Maybe it's time you...
Has got a case for being the best football player today in the college football world.
Johnny Manziel trying to be the first ever freshman to win it. I had a chance. I was down at Disney for the College Football Awards and met both those guys. They were becoming pretty good buddies, Johnny Football and Manti Te'o. At one point, Manti said, "You know what? I want a picture with Johnny Football."
Did he really?
Yeah.
Lose school points for saying things like that if you're a linebacker.
Alton Taylor out to the 21. So 2:26, 2:25 left to go in this first half. Look at Manti Te'o's Notre Dame career.
If that doesn't get it done, I know if he doesn't win it, to me, and this is just my personal one, then they need to say the Heisman Trophy is only for offensive players.
Yeah.
The #1 player on the #1 team in the country playing a championship game, and it was a defensive unit that carried them to the championship. I think he's got the case. He's got the interesting story there. Strength of schedule, one of the toughest ones out there. He's done a phenomenal job.
But not just Maxwell finalists, he won the Maxwell. Aaron LeGrone, the intended receiver, 2nd and 10.
But, you know, I was talking to my good friend Matt Stitchcomb the other night. We have this saying, if it comes down to anybody versus a quarterback, tie goes to the quarterback.
Who would be better off without the respective player? Texas A&M's offense without Johnny Football or Notre Dame's defense without Manti Te'o? I think it's pretty clear that it's Notre Dame without Manti Te'o would be better off.
Yeah, but I don't know what Texas A&M does offensively without Johnny Football.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they're both there. I mean, Notre Dame's got some surrounding parts around it, but would they be undefeated without Te'o?
Here's a screen. Isaiah Ferguson. And Jackson State rallies to the football to make it 3rd down. This Pine Bluff offense, top offense in the SWAC, has really struggled today. A touchdown drive went 87 yards, but that's the only offense they've had negative yards on the other 3 drives.
And the key is they have not been able to run the football. They lead the SWAC in rushing yards, a little bit over 200 yards per game running. Running game's been pretty much non-existent thus far.
Flag down. A little bit surprised we've not seen Rick Comagee take any timeouts here. Try and get the ball back.
Ball start. Offense. Number 65. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
We'll stick around for halftime and the State Farm halftime report. We'll have a further preview of the Heisman Trophy presentation tonight. Look ahead to the BCS bowl games, and of course back here for first half stats and highlights of the SWAC championship. So 3rd and 16. Do you call a timeout after this play for Jackson State?
Yeah, if needed. I think so. But they showed in the last possession when they had the football, there was no rush. They were trying to take a little time off the clock. But now, the team's got the ball. You can get it back in pretty good field position. You like to think they would call a timeout.
7 drop into coverage. Anderson will take a sack. It's the 4th one of this first half by Jackson State's defense.
And that one, that's not on the offensive line. You know, I think now Ben Anderson is reading the pass rush instead of going through his reads down the field. And he just made a couple side steps in that pocket to extend the play. That's one there where he should not have gotten sacked. Get rid of the football. He had time to do it.
Please put 1:11 on the clock.
I was going to say they let about 25 seconds run off of the clock there. 15 seconds run off of the clock after the timeout was called. They'll reset it to 1:11.
Let's go back and take a look at this sack and tell me, is there room for him to go? They do a little twist, 4-man rush. He's deep. You know, he can step up right there, keep looking downfield, but he's looking at the defensive line. As a quarterback, you can't look at the defensive line as well as downfield. You've got to feel it. See, right now, ball's not in the throw position, in the clear run position, like he was looking for where the sack was coming from, and it just wasn't there. There was a wall there. He could have stayed with his progression. Instead, it's going to show up as another sack in the statistical column.
Quay Cox signaled for a fair catch and then jumped out of the way. Minute 5 left to go in this first half of the SWAC championship in Birmingham.
Out of bounds at the 47-yard
The holidays are here, and that means falling prices at Rent-A-Center. Right now, get a Samsung 43-inch plasma TV or a 5-piece bedroom set. Your choice, just $6.
Out of the folks making the trip over from Arkansas, hoping UAPB can get its first SWAC title since 1966, but down to him out after that third down play in order to stop the clock and give his offense some time to try and add another score before the break. Moore will throw it underneath for Rico Richardson, who's got good football speed and got popped by Jarvis Webb after 12. That's Watson there as well. 13 yards, first down.
That's a great job getting the ball to your best football player when you're trying to get a 2-minute drive started. You don't have to go downfield with Richardson. You get him the ball behind the line of scrimmage. He can make the first defender miss, able to pick up the first down.
Rush is picked up. There's Richardson again in the curl. In the middle of that zone for another first down to the 29.
2 catches, and he's been able to stop the clock because he's got the first down on each of those receptions. And now they get up to the line of scrimmage, get the ball snapped quickly. This is a nice looking offense right now. Quick strike.
This time it's Pendleton. And they say that he stayed in bounds.
Yeah, he did. Made a mistake. He lost his footing as he was going towards the sideline, and his knee came down in bounds, costing the Tigers a couple of seconds.
Right now within range for Ryan Deasy. Here comes pressure. Martin, no. It's a live ball with a flag down. Bill Ross headed the other way. 75-yard touchdown. We'll see what the flag is. Xavier Lofton jarred it loose, and Bill Ross took it to the house.
And the penalty occurred right where the sack took place. Are they going to say that he led with his helmet? There's a lot to look at. Was this an incomplete pass? You see the blitz coming from Xavier Lofton. Got a clear shot. No,
totally clean.
That's a clean hit.
Holding. Okay.
Okay.
From the right tackle.
Wow.
That penalty declined. Touchdown.
How about that turn of events? Bill Ross goes 75 yards for the score.
They brought the blitz coming from his backside. Clayton Moore did not see Xavier Lofton. He thinks he's protected. Clean shot on him. Forces the fumble, and Bill Ross showing some speed here. Then at the end of this run, you're going to see good pop on the quarterback. Moore is going to come in trying to make the tackle. But
how about the call from Monty Coleman to bring some pressure?
They dialed up the right blitz.
Timeout. Jackson State. That's our third and final timeout.
That's the third defensive touchdown of the season for Bill Ross. Had 2 pick sixes, and now this fumble return.
I mean, they dialed this up right. He doesn't see it coming. And great job by Ross to field the ball cleanly and go up the sidelines. Watch Moore come over and get whopped by Brandon Thurman. Brandon Thurman, number 96. He just likes to hit quarterbacks.
Any chance, anything you see there to overturn it?
I think that's why Jackson State called a timeout.
Right.
I think they want to say all timeout. Don't kick the extra point, so maybe we can see if you all want to review it. And keep in mind, because this play resulted in a touchdown, they've already seen it in the booth. So with nothing coming out, and clean hit got there. I mean, quarterback's arm had not started to move forward yet. Just when Jackson State thought they were in complete control, Monty Coleman dials up an outside linebacker blitz and rewarded with the score.
And Bill Ross, the long snapper, for the extra point. And we've got ourselves a ball game. Ross
comes up hobbling it. When you talk to the folks around Arkansas Pine Bluff, they think he can play in the NFL because he's a snapper, because he's a long snapper. They think he can be a long snapper in the NFL for years to come. And he gets, oh wow, just jumped on and probably came down a little funny on that ankle. In terms of special teams, you have to hope that he's able to stay in this football game, and also he's the leading tackler for Arkansas Pine Bluff. You got to get him into the locker room and make sure that ankle doesn't stiffen up. He's able to continue.
Not just leading tackler for Pine Bluff, leading tackler in the SWAC, and what a huge play he's got here for his 3rd touchdown of the year. He's had 100 tackles in back-to-back seasons. It's been huge for this defense, best in the SWAC. But what a huge swing. You were looking at a 3-score game going into halftime, and instead a 1-score game with a 1 play.
They dialed it up when they need it.
There's the turnovers that bit Jackson State in the first meeting. They ran for 300+ yards, but lost because they fumbled 4 times. And it's their first turnover of this game that leads to Arkansas Pine Bluff getting to within a score. Pine Bluff trying to cap one of the best seasons in school history with their first title since 1966. Jackson State trying to win its 17th all time. When we come back, we'll head to the studio for the State Farm halftime report.
This Christmas.
Welcome back to ESPNU College Football, presented by McDonald's. 21-14 at halftime of this SWAC championship game. Jackson State in front. They've not trailed in this game yet. Welcome back into the broadcast booth alongside former NFL quarterback Jay Walker, Joe Davis on hand. This thing could have gotten out of hand if not for that play right before the break.
I mean, how big was that? Monty Coleman decides to dial up an outside linebacker blitz and rewarded with a return score by the defense to make this a 1-score game. Talk about getting dominated. Arkansas Pine Bluff, the offense has been non-existent. They've got less than 78 yards total offense. And for Jackson State, they've got over 200 yards total offense, but they're only up by 1 score. It's going to be decided late in the 4th quarter. You just have that type of feeling.
Let's take a look at how they got to a better state, brought to you by State Farm in that first half.
You know, we talk about getting to a better state. One of the things that they were able to establish early was Rico Richardson was going to be a problem for the Arkansas Pine Bluff secondary. Able to take advantage, going over the top, and then assignment football lapses by the Arkansas Pine Bluff defense allowed running back Raheem Sims to come up with some big plays in the running game, and this was the big one there. They State defense but you can tell with so many 3-and-outs, they have not been able to have success doing that with the game plan. They've been very fortunate that their defense came up with that score right before the half. Look for Benji Anderson. He's got to settle down. Yeah. He's got to trust his offensive line, stay in the pocket, don't look rattled at time. He's going to have to step up and make some plays if they want to win a SWAC championship.
First meeting between the two teams, Ben Anderson's worst game of the season, 5 of 17 for 30 yards, 4 of 8 for 18 yards during that first half. Be interested to see what happens here in the second half of the SWAC championship game in Birmingham, Alabama. 21-14, Jackson State in front. We'll take a break, second half on the other side.
For more than 6.
Today's Bringing the Flavor brought to you by McDonald's. More fantastic work from Shane Wasserman. We're here at the SWAC championship game, and it's 21-14 at halftime. Jackson State in front of the band's performing. One of the best parts, of course, of any HBCU game. Back into the broadcast booth alongside Jay Walker, Joe Davis on hand. If you're Jackson State, you run twice as many plays as Pine Bluff in that first half. You limit them to 8 yards in the second quarter. You're up by 1 touchdown.
Protect the football.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason they lost to Arkansas Pine Bluff during the regular season, 4 turnovers. They did a good job of avoiding the turnover in the first half, but with 4 seconds left to go before halftime, they turned the ball over, and Arkansas Pine Bluff made them pay for it. And I think the bigger concern right now is Arkansas Pine Bluff. How are you going to score the football with your offense? They've struggled. Ben Anderson, obviously, Jackson State has his answer defensively. They got his number. What do you do? And I think you've got to simplify the reads for your quarterback right now. Ben Anderson's not comfortable in the pocket. Give him some run-pass options on the edge, and you need Justin Billings to really step up and run the football. If they can establish some type of control at the line of scrimmage, Arkansas Pine Bluff can control this football game and get right back in it.
And for Jackson State, obviously taking care of the ball, a big key. Outside of that, what do they need to do offensively? Because remember, they were cruising along in the first quarter, but not much after that.
Yeah, I like what their game plan was originally. When the safeties come down, go over the top of Rico Richardson. When the safeties play off, run the football with Rakeem Sims or Clayton Moore. They had success doing that. Stick with that formula. It worked. But first and foremost, protect the football.
Arkansas Pine Bluff trying to win its first SWAC championship since 1966. Jackson State has won 16 SWAC titles coming out of this break. What's it feel like playing at a championship game, understanding you got 30 minutes to decide what you're remembered as?
Yeah, you've got 2 programs with different things. At Jackson State, they've come to expect to win championships. For Arkansas Pine Bluff, haven't done it before. They've been in the SWAC championship game. Do they have what it takes to get over the hump? They've had probably the best season in the SWAC, winning the games they needed to, 9-2. Played solid football. They've been consistent all season long, but they've got a half right now to cap off this dream season in Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
You gave us several keys for each side of the ball, and I'll put you on the spot a little bit. What's one thing you're looking for in the second half that'll decide the outcome?
If they can control the line of scrimmage, Arkansas Pine Bluff, they've got to have the ability to run the football. That's the strength of this team. It's been running the football behind Teron Armstead. Now, Jackson State's done a good job of neutralizing him, putting 2 guys over him at once. They've got to figure out some ways creatively to get him involved and get that forward lean going, because the quarterback play has not been there for Ben Anderson in a game and a half versus Jackson State.
Yeah, 2 games for him now against JSU, and he's a combined 9 for 26 for 48 yards. Wow. This is the first team all-SWAC quarterback we're talking about.
Normally that's what you would get in 1 quarter's worth of work, and give credit to Clayton Moore there, who's done a good job for Jackson State, but you got to figure out if you're Anderson, what are they doing to him? You go in there at halftime, we've seen them look at the rush instead of looking at the wide receivers downfield. 18 yards pass in this game, that is not going to get it done if you're trying to go out and win a championship versus a very motivated Jackson State team.
Arkansas Pine Bluff will have the ball to begin this second half. After cutting it to a touchdown in the final seconds of the first half. Andre Mitchell from his own 5, and Mitchell's cut down to the 20. There's been good special teams play all afternoon from Jackson State.
I think another thing that Pine Bluff has to really focus on, the penalties. They had some penalties in inopportune moments and were not able to overcome those, and Jackson State made them pay for it. Championship teams normally don't get penalized that much. We understand you've got very aggressive defenses, and that will happen, but you can't have a tight end jumping off sides on 4th and 1 and a gunner running into the punter on 4th and 17. They've got to eliminate those if they want to have a chance at winning this football game.
They start this second half with Justin Billings, who's got a big hole, and Billings with a cut into open field to the 44. 22-yard gain for Billings, and what a start to this second half for Pine Bluff.
When your quarterback's not getting it done, go to Justin Billings, your running back, running behind your best offensive lineman. It's Ron Armstead. Huge hole there. Billings saw daylight. They need to establish control of the line of scrimmage.
Toss into the wide side of the field and nowhere to go this time.
Billings with the carry.
Caleb Lester was there for the stop with Mike Hill. And it'll be second and about 12 coming up.
And I think you have to force feed the run. If you give Billings a toss sweep, because of his size at 5'8" and 175 pounds, he's going to stretch it all the way to the sideline and may run out of bounds. Give him a play right off tackle where he's got to run it hard into the line of scrimmage before he has that option to bounce out of bounds.
Luis McLeod was in the neutral zone there, but Pine Bluff didn't snap it. McLeod plenty of time to get back. On second down, first throw of the half with Darius Eckwood. Can't get out of the tackle from Quay Cox. Eckwood, their leading receiver, and somebody they said they needed to win a lot of one-on-one battles this afternoon, now has 2 catches for a total of 6 yards.
Yeah, that's not the impact player that they were looking for, but I like the play call by Eric Dooley. You've got a quarterback that's struggling. Give him some easy throws, some short throws, 5-yard throws downfield until he starts to feel comfortable and find some sort of rhythm.
4 receivers to the wide side of the field on 3rd down and 8. 8 drop into coverage, so Anderson with all day into a tight window.
Wow.
And it's caught for a first down to Willie Young. True freshman with his first catch of the day. What a throw from Anderson.
Yeah, but this is where you do not go with the football. There are going to be 3 jerseys around here on this curl route. We talked about the deep drop. Look at the white jerseys around the football. If he was not perfect with that throw, that would have been an interception.
Drive extended. And a miscommunication on the handoff. LeGrone does well to turn it into a gain of about a half yard where Todd Wiltshire pops him. 2nd and 9. LeGrone with just his 3rd touch of the day. Redshirt freshman from right there in Pine Bluff.
Second and 9.
Play action. Anderson buying some more time, launching it off his back foot, making the catch at the 12 is Young, and it's first down. Back-to-back big plays for the true freshman.
Would you rather be good or would you rather be lucky? I think this is pure luck here by Arkansas Pine Bluff. Great recognition by Willie Young. This ball's thrown up for grabs. In no man's land, the defender falls down. We give credit to the freshman from Louisiana, Willie Young, going up and making the big grab.
Arkansas Pine Bluff trying to tie the game. Here's Billings. For the run defense from Jackson State, top 15 in the country, has been so strong all day. Joseph LeBeau led the way at 2nd and 9. LeBeau had 3 sacks during the first half.
And one of the few times you see a defensive substitution by Jackson State. They keep their base defense on the field at all times. For LeBeau to leave the game in this situation, he must be extremely tired.
Now a confused Arkansas Pine Bluff team tries to sort things out. Still plenty of time, but still plenty of confusion. They're going to have to burn their first time out. But Arkansas Pine Bluff with some big plays on this opening possession of half number 2, trying to tie the game for the first time since it was scoreless in the SWAC championship.
Sitting in a chair for long periods of time not only makes your lower back ache, it can leave you with a sore bottom too. And car seats can really be uncomfortable. Plus, all those hours you spend at the computer can add up to an even more stressed and strained back. Well, the problem isn't how you're sitting, it's the lack of support and cushioning. But now, there's Forever Comfy, the revolutionary foam and gel combination cushion that puts a supple layer of support between you and your seat to make every chair more comfortable, no matter how long you're sitting. Unlike traditional cushions that are just foam, Forever Comfy contains 2 layers of high-density foam and an inner layer of therapeutic comfort gel that distributes your weight evenly to eliminate uncomfortable pressure points and reduce impact on muscles and joints. Turn that hard dining chair into a cozy seat while you eat. Work more without making...
Last time this game was tied was when it was scoreless. Arkansas Pine Bluff, opening drive of the second half, trying to draw even again in the SWAC championship. On 2nd and 9, Anderson throwing the fade, the end zone, and it's incomplete. All conference against all conference there as Quay Cox knocked it away from Ladarius Eckwood.
Quay Cox has some swag about himself. This is how you play it. You go up, you bat the ball away, you recognize it at its highest point. And he's like, no problem. And what a luxury it is to have a cornerback that can lock up a wide receiver in one-on-one coverage like they're doing again right now, and know that that guy's not going to make the catch.
3rd and 9, design run for Anderson goes nowhere, and they settle for a field goal attempt.
Anderson, the ball carrier.
They bring on the first team all-SWAC kicker, Tyler Strickland, as Billups made the stop. What do you think? Are you surprised at the play call?
No, because I mean, we've seen Anderson struggle. They tried the fade route for him where you take the read out of his hands, then you try and see if he can get it with his legs running football. He does not. You don't chance the turnover. Take the points. You know, if you get a touchdown, you can grab the lead.
And Strickland hooked it. The SWAC's leading scorer misses from point blank. And this opening drive for Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Wow. This is the chip shot right up the middle, and he just yanks it. As soon as he hit it, he knew.
So Jackson State's defense able to hold. Here's Rakeem Sims, who averaged 12 yards a touch during the first half, getting 9. Or getting 1, and it's 2nd and 9 as Xavier Lofton makes a stop. Jackson State has been very good in the 3rd quarter this season. Only 3-1.
This is a time where normally the better team starts to assert themselves, which is in the second half, in the 3rd quarter. And that's why Jackson State's been able to advance to the SWAC championship game. They dodged the bullet on that last drive. That was impressive by Arkansas Pine Bluff to move the ball. But Tyler Strickland just yanked the field goal attempt.
From the 21 on 2nd and 9, Moore thrown to the sideline, and Richardson couldn't hang on. Good defense from Jamel Maxwell, and it's 3rd and 9.
Trying to go all the way across the field, throw the out route to Richardson, but this is good coverage being made by Jamel Maxwell. Good break on the ball, comes around Richardson, able to bat that ball away.
Jackson State 4 of 7 on 3rd down during that first half. Top 3rd down team in the SWAC.
They've been unconventional. In obvious pass situations, they've gone to running plays. If I was Arkansas Pine Bluff, I'd look for that.
And he throws that one into the dirt. 4th down. Deshaun McKenzie was the intended receiver. And Pine Bluff's defense, which drew the Golden Lions to within a touchdown to close that first half, forces a 3-and-out, and they get the ball back just like that.
And if I were Arkansas Pine Bluff right now, I would set up my best return. Jackson State has a punter. He's a line drive punter, and Michael Perkins. And they've been able to field the ball cleanly on punt returns. I would try and set up a nice return. Because he's a line drive punter, you can get a very good return versus that style of kick.
There's that line drive. Mitchell.
He called the fair catch. Oh, don't do that. You're going to field it cleanly. Nobody's going to hit you. There's not enough time to react. Instead, he makes a young mistake, signals fair catch. But still, Arkansas Pine Bluff will have the ball on the 35-yard line when we come back.
For over 90 years, the Southwestern Athletic Conference has been transforming college athletes. With every play and every victory, our strength has multiplied. Now is our time to show the nation that we are the face of a new generation of college football. We are the future of college athletics. We are the Southwestern.
Arkansas Pine Bluff down a score with the football again early on in this third.
Just followed Brian Kelly all the way to Tennessee. Did a great run at Central Michigan, then went to Cincinnati. He's gone on to Tennessee.
Anderson standing no chance and sacked for the 5th time today. Ryan Griffin, redshirt freshman out of Michigan with a sack.
And they're going to bring the blitz. Griffin is a linebacker. When he comes from the outside, that means Ben Anderson's not seeing him in his pre-snap read at the line of scrimmage. Tedrick Terrell does a good job as well coming from the defensive end position. For a team that has such good offensive line play, Anderson's been sacked 5 times today.
Out of the reach of Desmond Beverly, 3rd down and 21. Now time for Where I'm From, brought to you by the U.S. Marines. Griffin with that sack. He's out of Ypsilanti, Michigan. He's outside of Ann Arbor, the birthplace of Domino's Pizza.
Okay. Now, you didn't know there's a little pipeline between Jackson State and the state of Michigan. Remember Fernando Smith, who played for Jackson State? He was from Michigan.
Anderson keeping the play alive. Can he run 21 yards? Anderson to the sideline with a flag down. It'll be a block in the back going on true freshman Willie Young. Young knew it.
Back. Offense, number 21. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
What happened, Anderson was trying to set up Young for the block down the field, and once that goes inside, Young knew it right away. See, Anderson sees it, he's got leverage, tries to get to the outside, and that's
Brian Griffin again. So another penalty on Monty Coleman's squad, 4th most penalized team in the country. That's their 6th today. So 3rd down and 15. Twice on 3rd and long today. Now granted that play will not count. Anderson has run for 1st downs.
That's what he's been able to do well. And I think if you're Jackson State, you have to change your defensive game plan. Yes, you want to blitz and bring pressure, but when you've got a quarterback that's not necessarily reading coverages that well, play zone and do not allow him to beat you with your legs. Make him make a read.
He's pressured. Textbook scramble drill to keep the play alive, but it's 4th down. And this pressure from Jackson State, one of the top D lines in the country, has been really impressive.
They said they thought that they could win the battle line of scrimmage. Big Jonathan Billups, Lewis McLeod, and Joseph LeBeau starting to make their presence felt in this football game.
Anderson now 6 of 14. Short punt, hit one of the Pine Bluff players first. Now it kicks free. Jackson State's on it at the 45, but it should be down at the 40 where it hit Pine Bluff's player originally. Still trying to figure it out, but it hits this guy.
Right there, and that's where the ball should be marked. That's what, 38-yard line?
Yeah. Which actually helps Pine Bluff in the end.
Yeah, and they don't see it.
Wow. That's 7-yard difference. So Jackson State back to work. It's balanced spread attack, 2nd in the SWAC, just under 30 points a game. Start on the ground with Tommy Gooden. He's across midfield. Gain of 6.5. Robert Dorsey with the tackle. Here he is again. Gooden spinning for a first down. Tommy Gooden, junior out of Atlanta's Frederick Douglass High School. Goes over 45 yards on the day. This ground game that killed Pine Bluff in the first meeting starting to do the same.
Yeah, they've been using Sims for most of the game, and now Gooden's coming in, and he's running with some aggression, a little extra pep in his step. When he gets the football, he's hitting the line of scrimmage running full speed. Been a load to bring down. I think right now they're going to continue to force feed the football to Tommy Gooden.
Kaplan, the fullback, is in. The 250-pounder led the way, but not much there. Defensive line for Arkansas Pine Bluff solid on that play. Brandon Thurman and Troy Goss combined in the tackle. Lost a half yard. Second down coming up.
Right now, Jackson State, their play selection, they recognize every single play. Rico Richardson's drawing double coverage. That being the case, they're trying to force the run, which they should have numbers to run the football.
Downhill again. This time it's Sims. Rakeem Sims has a first down. Jerian Harris with a tackle, but not before a gain of 15.
When you've got a wide receiver that's commanding double coverage, you should be able to get to the second level easily, and that's a great job by the fullback, Kapler, recognizing the free safety, Ryan Shaw, number 9 in Blackhead, to come close to the line of scrimmage, get a seal block, and allow Sims to get first down yardage. See, when you've got Richardson here, they've got 2 people around him, so they're going to know where he is at all times. That gives you the ability to run the football.
Bill Ross, who's had a monster game in his final game at Arkansas Pine Bluff. Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. SWAC's leading tackler had a 73-yard scoop and score during that first half. His 3rd touchdown of the season out of his middle linebacker spot.
Get a good look there at the bands. It's probably one of the loudest college football games you come across, with both schools have bands that have over 250 members.
On 2nd and 13, finally looking to throw. Moore sails it, 3rd down. Looking for Richardson, but he was double covered. Maxwell and Webb back there.
Yeah, you got to go someplace else with the football. Give the respect to the defense there. Clayton Moore, his mind was made up where he was going with that football before it was snapped. Good job by the Lions defensive secondary, not allowing Richardson to get deep or get behind him.
So 3rd and 13. This is outside of Ryan Deasing's range. Moore running out of time and getting sacked. Brendan Thurman, who leads the nation in sacks, gets his 17th of the year.
Thurman's just going to keep going, and you know, second time we've seen him try to find where Clayton Moore is. They're just looking for him. They know he's back there. Where is he? It's like a kid looking for your Christmas present. Oh, there he is. Unwrap the gift. Another sack for the nation's leader in sacks for the 2012 season.
SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, 5th-year senior out of Augusta, Georgia. And now Tony Dean is on to punt it. Pine Bluff keeps the defense on the field and then brings Andre Mitchell back there to receive it. Just a little flare of a punt. And my goodness, what is Jerian Harris doing? It turns out okay, but man. All right, so Arkansas Pine Bluff down a touchdown with a football again in the SWAC championship. Back after this.
The 2013 Rose Bowl game, New Year's Day on ESPN. So you actually reward people for staying with you?
Yep, the longer you stay with us, the more you save. And when you switch from another company to us, we even reward you for the time you spent there.
Genius. Yeah, genius.
Got a good one going here in the SWAC championship game. 21-14. Jackson State has not trailed. They had a 14-0 lead at one point. Arkansas Pine Bluff cutting it to a touchdown with 4 seconds left in the first half on a 73-yard scoop and score. The offense back to work, and Anderson setting up the screen. This could be big. Eckwood crossing all the way to the near side and getting 14 on first down. Perfect call for the defense.
I understand that Jackson State wants to be aggressive. That's their philosophy, to bring blitz from all over the football field. For the quarterback that's nervous in the pocket, you give them this wide receiver screen. They were very lucky that did not go for a score. They had the perfect play dialed up. I think if you're Jackson State, you've got to call off the blitzes.
Aaron LeGrand with the edge sealed. LeGrand has the first down. 12 yards. The redshirt freshman out of Arkansas. Pine Bluff had a monster drive to begin this second half, but it stalled inside the red zone, and they missed a field goal. What can they do here?
If the running game can continue, that's great. I like the play selection, wide receiver screens, simplifying the reads on the quarterback that's been clearly confused all afternoon. But I think you spread them out in order to run the football, and that seems to be the recipe that's worked whenever they have broken off big runs.
Anderson, like a broken play, and we've seen that a couple of times with LeGrand in there running back. Got a yard, 2nd and 9. Frederick Terrell with a stop. Arkansas Pine Bluff, top rushing offense in the SWAC. Playing with 5 wide receivers here. And Benjamin Anderson, check out these numbers. 61% against everybody else. He's first team all SWAC. But against Jackson State in 2 games this year, 35%. Looking to the wide side where he's got quads, and now showing off the arm strength into traffic. Fight for the ball. Intercepted. It's Mike Hill, one of the senior leaders, with his first pick of the year.
That was a matchup that they wanted. You have a running back in LeGrand going against Mike Hill, an outside linebacker deep down the sideline. Hill plays the ball perfectly. LeGrand tries to wrestle it away. Not able to do so. Big play by Mike Hill, the senior from Jackson, Mississippi.
Second interception thrown by Anderson. His struggles continue against Jackson State. First play of this drive goes off the left side for Tommy Gooden. He gets 4 yards, 2nd and 6. How about Hill? Graduated yesterday, received his degree in engineering, and already has several job offers. It's a bright future for him. And a nice memory to take home from the SWAC championship.
You're starting to get the feeling that if the defense doesn't come up and create some offense for Arkansas Pine Bluff offensively, they're not going to solve the riddle of the Jackson State defense. Sense of urgency, you've got an offense backed up. I would become more aggressive with my play selection and start blitzing linebackers.
Lead option play, sticking the shoulder down is good, and into Xavier Lofton for a yard, 3rd and 5. Top 3rd down offense in the SWAC, one of the top 3rd down defenses in the country. Jackson State 4 of 10 on 3rd down today. Quarterback draw. Damian Lee's there to shut it down. along with Brandon Thurman once again. And how about this Pine Bluff defense keeping them in the game?
They've done a good job. After giving up 14 points in the first quarter, they pretty much had the number of Jackson State. They've got momentum, controlling the line of scrimmage, and Brandon Thurman is leaving it all out on the field. That's what you want from your senior defensive end. Every play, he's already got a high motor, but every single play, he's wreaking havoc on the backfield of Jackson State.
Most of this third quarter has been played on this end of the field, but no points to show for it for the Golden Lions.
And they're still right for a big punt return if they decide to go for it.
A little bit better hang time on this one, but it's nowhere near Mitchell. Taking a good bounce for Jackson State. Mike Hill had that pick on the previous possession. He comes back out with the JSU defense.
Yeah, playing very physical out here. This is what the seniors do. Early in the game, you might remember in the first half, Mike Hill comes up, makes a tackle on the loss there, and this almost leads to a big altercation between both teams, and Hill gets up, and they were jawing at him a little bit on the sideline, and you see him going at it, and he's saying, okay, well, how's this for redemption? A little interception right there to get the ball back for your offensive unit. So when you're a senior, trying to put it all together, leave it all on the field, that's Mike Hill making plays for JSU.
Final seconds of this third quarter. Anderson gives it to Justin Billings. He gets a yard and a half. Brings us likely to the end of the third. 15 minutes to decide the SWAC championship. Arkansas Pine Bluff down a touchdown, trying to cap off one of the best seasons in school history with their first title since '66. While the storied Jackson State program guns for his 17th SWAC title. Fourth quarter coming up. SWAC championship game rolls on into the fourth quarter here in Birmingham, and Jackson State with a 21-14 advantage. The Division III National Championship. First play of the fourth quarter, a throwback screen to Armstead. Are you kidding me? Terran Armstead.
We told you he could move. He's the left tackle that we said is 6'5", 320, 4.8 speed. Well, you think we're lying? Look at Armstead, set it up, nowhere to go, just keeps dropping back. Now watch the burst. Wow. Look at the big man motor. Holy
almost fumbled.
He did, but wow.
Third down and 2 now. Here's Billings spinning for close to a first down.
Joe Davis, slow down. Slow down.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a throwback pass to the tackle?
Nope.
He didn't line up as an eligible receiver. Schematically, he was the in man on the line of scrimmage. It was a lateral back to him.
They got to bring him out and get him a breath now.
Yeah. And the defense sniffed it out pretty good.
Yeah.
If he wasn't as fast as he is, then he would have gotten tackled for a loss, but instead picked up positive yards. And oh man, that was a joy to watch.
6 men at the line of scrimmage. Nobody at the second level, but it didn't matter because Joseph LeBeau pulled Justin Billings down after a yard. 2nd and 9.
And what you do, if Armstead's going to leave the game and take a blow because you call a play like that, then I would go with some of the wide receiver screen package, knowing that your running game is not as strong when he's not on the field.
Second down and 9.
Jackson State refusing to move defenders from the middle of the box, not allowing Anderson to run the football.
Here's the screen. Eckwood. Loeffler cleaned it up along with Cox. A few yards, it'll be 3rd and 6.
So that was a call that you wanted. Eckwood just one tackle away. Cameron Loeffler doesn't come up and make a textbook tackle. That play would have been for a big gain.
Arkansas Pine Bluff just 3 of 8 on 3rd down today. Will yet another drive sputter. Pressure comes. Anderson broken up. Throwing the slant for Ferguson, and it was Mike Hill almost getting his second pick of this second half.
At this stage of the game, I was thinking it was 2-down territory if they would have picked up any type of positive yards. Ball there thrown just a little bit behind the intended target, Isaiah Ferguson.
And he had room to put it out in front of him.
You know, as a quarterback, when you're not seeing things well, it's hard for you to anticipate, and you lose a little bit of your accuracy.
4th and 6, they'll go for it. Anderson takes his eyes down and gets drilled by LeBeau. The number 2 4th down defense in the country comes up with a big stop.
And that was not a designed quarterback run. But that just comes from a quarterback that's having trouble reading the coverage. Well, when he sees daylight, thinks he's got a gap. He's in the run position. LeBeau does a good job of sliding down the line of scrimmage to make the tackle, keeping Anderson just short of 1st down yardage.
Now this offense that's been so good on the ground in both meetings against Pine Bluff, try and grind some clock with a 1-touchdown lead in the 4th quarter. But instead, play action to begin. Moore looking long. Smart play to tuck in and get 2. Troy Goss hit him first. 2nd and 8. Arkansas Pine Bluff looking for the first 10-win season in school history, trying to get their first SWAC championship since 1966. Jackson State is here for the 3rd time in 7 seasons, trying to win its 17th title. Rakeem Sims hobbled on that play. He'll go out. Tommy Gooden comes in. Gooden behind Kapler. Into the arms of Bill Ross. 3rd and 5.
Give credit to both defensive units for Arkansas Pine Bluff and Jackson State in the second half. This has been all about defense, and each team has moved the football, but when it comes down to that bend but don't break time, neither defensive unit is broke. Can Arkansas Pine Bluff continue to stop this Jackson State offensive unit?
35 points total in the first half, nothing in the second half. 3rd and 5. Moore's given time, and it's off of the hands. 4th down. Went for McKenzie, who throttled down in the hole in that zone, and Moore led him. Ryan Harris with the coverage. Punt team to the field. Is this where Andre Mitchell finally gets a shot to return one of Tony Dean's line drive kicks?
I would tell the youngster, catch it in stride, get a full head of steam going forward, field it cleanly. They're right for a big punt return.
Here's a line drive. Mitchell lets it bounce.
You have to field that punt.
Been a rough day for Andre Mitchell on a day where it seems that he could be having a good day with those line drive punts. So down a touchdown. Pine Bluff takes over at its own 11 with 11 to go.
That one, Daddy. It's beautiful.
I'm the world's greatest Douglas fir. I'm the perfect shape. I'm the perfect.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
4th quarter with the SWAC championship game. Birmingham, Alabama. Jackson State trying to win its 17th title. Arkansas Pine Bluff trying to win a title for the first time since it shared a 4-way title in 1966. On 1st down from the 11. Anderson with a deep drop and a strong arm into traffic, but it's held on to somehow by Eckwood for close to a 1st down.
And that's the matchup that Jackson State will take their chances with. Living dangerously, if you ask me. You've got Quay Cox lined up against Eckwood, and ball was thrown a little bit late, but Eckwood able to come back and show strong hands and make that catch.
Measure it.
And that lets me know about the decision making that's taking place right now by Anderson. If you've got press, man-to-man coverage, you don't want to throw a curl pattern. Takes a little long, nowhere for the defender to go. You want to hit some type of crossing route. But because of the confusion by Ben Anderson, he's just trying to take wherever I can get a one-on-one matchup and know where I've got somebody one-on-one, they'll take it. But press coverage, you want to find some type of crossing route.
Jackson State load in the box. Arkansas Pine Bluff still runs it. Justin Billings surges forward for close to 5, where Teneric Terrell makes the tackle.
Now this is a look. When you get the man-to-man coverage across the board like this, they're going to blitz you.
Lofting one, and another nice play by Quay Cox. That's that one-on-one battle with Eckwood.
I like Quay Cox. You know, he's got that mindset. When it comes to that left side of the field, he just tells his coach, I've got this. I've got this whole side. Don't worry about it. I remember Deion Sanders used to play like that. He played man-to-man on his guy, but also whoever you tried to bring out of the backfield. Quay Cox has that type of swag. Wherever Eckwood goes, he's going with him. Yep. You see him cross the formation right now. That's how you play defensive back.
So if you're Pine Bluff, why don't you get some kind of stack formation like you've shown and try and make it so he can't zero in on it?
Yep. Double move. You got aggressive corners. Try and bait him with a double move.
8 drop into coverage, so tight windows. Anderson over the top. Got a man. It is incomplete. Threw it late for Willie Young, who got behind Loeffler. 4th down.
Willie Young, deep play ability. If you can just get it out there and throw it, he's got him beat by 3 yards. Lead him away from the coverage. That would have been an easy grab, but a great job by Loeffler at the last moment, getting the arm in there to disrupt the pass.
Good punt. Fair catch. 26. So Jackson State's defense would get another stop on a 7-point lead with 10 to go.
First serve scheduled for 4:10 Eastern. Back to Joe Davis and Jay Walker.
All right. Thank you, Matt. A couple of storied volleyball programs there getting ready to meet up. 4th quarter rolls on in the SWAC championship. Jackson State begins this drive with Rakeem Sims. A yard plus. Jackson State and Arkansas Pine Bluff have both been very good on defense in this half. No points. 4 punts for JSU. Pine Bluff's defense really doing all that it can to give them a shot.
They are. They've figured out a way to tighten them up and really confuse Clayton Moore throwing the football. Recognize where Rico Richardson has been on the football field in passing situations. But I think more importantly, when they have the 2 safety high look, they're able to stop the running game of Jackson State with just 6 or 7 guys in the box, not bringing down an 8th defender.
Run it with the 2 high safeties, but the defensive line does the job. Lofton and Thurman combine, and it's 3rd and 6.
One thing we've also noticed, both offenses have gotten very conservative, particularly Jackson State with their 3rd down play calling, realizing that a turnover at this stage of the game could be deadly for both teams. You've got defensive coordinators that are the head coaches. They tend to play things a little bit close to the vest in tight football games. With Jackson State not being willing to leave their comfort zone with their play selection on 3rd down.
JSU is 4 of 7 on 3rd down in the first half. They're 0 for 5 on 3rd down in the second half. Flag down.
Start. Offense. Number 82. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Zachary Pendleton, junior wide receiver, so 3rd and 11 now.
And when you've got a coach that's keeping things tight, it's 3rd and 7. You maybe think about really trying to convert it now. Third and long. Be looking for some type of wide receiver screen or quarterback draw in this situation.
Middle of the field is open for him. The twist gets to him, and he's sacked. Robert Dorsey with his first sack of the game. And yet another punt. 5 drives and 5 punts for Jackson State.
Watch Brandon Thurman. He's the reason why he's able to come open. Watch him come all the way around the formation. He causes the disruption, allowing Dorsey to get this. They know where he's going to be. They're looking at him. Both linemen on the right side go with him, allowing Robert Dorsey to get the sack.
We've been tough on Andre Mitchell today. He's back to receive this punt. Does Mitchell finally get his hands on one? This one better hang time, but it's short. Taking a good Jackson State bounce to the 39. Well, ESPNU has a college basketball doubleheader tomorrow. First Maine and Florida State at 4. The number 21 UNLV against Cal at 6 o'clock. And then 2 of Philly's Big Five will square off on ESPNU on Tuesday. Langston Galloway leads St. Joe's against Jay Wright's Villanova team. St. Joe's and Villanova Tuesday at 7 on the U. Also live on the Watch ESPN app. ESPN, the home court of college hoops.
Second time I've heard you mention that. 2 of the Big Five. Who are the other teams in the Big Five?
Put me on the spot. LaSalle.
Okay.
So we got LaSalle, St. Joe's, Villanova, Penn.
The other one's easy. That's easy.
Temple.
Come
Yeah.
on. I wouldn't have known the other ones. I just only knew Temple. So until I heard you say Temple, I was going to keep you on the hot seat.
All right, I'm off it. 7:19 left to decide the SWAC championship. Ben Anderson, first team all-SWAC quarterback, has been so good against everybody but Jackson State.
They are trying everything they can to get Jackson State to have a defender leave the box close to the line of scrimmage. 5 wide receiver looks. They're not doing it, forcing Anderson to throw the football from the pocket.
Perfect throw. It's Dexter Bryant. First down inside the 35. First catch of the game for the junior from Baton Rouge, and it was a perfect throw that time from Anderson.
And that's what they're used to seeing in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Deep drop, delivering a rope right on the money. Good job of staying in bounds by Bryant, picking up extra yards after the catch.
We might take a look to see if Bryant stepped out of bounds where he caught it.
Field is a completed catch. The play is on further review.
And they're not reviewing whether or not the ball was caught. They're reviewing whether or not he should get the extra few yards.
He's got it there. He's looking.
Well done by our camera crew.
Yeah.
Still well done by the camera crew. Beautiful work.
Yeah, I think no question he caught the ball and makes the move. But Brian here does it. Oh, he's
in.
Yep.
And they show they've got the ESPNU feed and the big board here at Legion Field, and everybody in the crowd reacts, seeing that. Even the crowd is giving a hand to our crew.
Great camera work there, capturing that. Clearly stays in bounds. They want it. It's clear that the folks that made the ride from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, are trying to get excited.
After further review, the ruling on field is confirmed. First down.
Only offensive touchdown for Arkansas Pine Bluff was the first play of the second quarter on a quarterback sneak. The other touchdown was a 73-yard scoop and score by Bill Ross.
Now they complete a pass. They go with this formation. Jackson State's not going to allow them to rest. They're going to bring pressure from the outside.
8 in the box this time. Billings can't run away from it. Man, Joseph LeBeau is everywhere.
He's active.
That one getting started on ESPN News. Minnesota and Penn State, 2 of the top 10 teams in the country. NCAA Volleyball Regional. We'll get you over there as soon as this one finishes. Joseph LeBeau, 11 tackles today. Second down and 12 for Arkansas Pine Bluff, and the clock's starting to become a factor if they can't get it done on this drive. Pressure comes, it's picked up. And Cox all over Eckwood. 3rd and 12.
Cox is winning that battle. You know, what you've got to do is go over to the 3 wide receiver side where you've got some alternative choices. Give credit to a good defensive back. If you keep testing Quay Cox, he can end this football game. And I like what, go back to the 5 wide receiver look, spread them out, and then anticipate they're going to blitz you next time you go to that formation and hit them with the big play over the top.
Flag down, false start.
Start. Offense. Number 21. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Willie Young, true freshman receiver, so 3rd and 16. 8th penalty of the game for the 4th most penalized team in the land.
Well, that's not coming as a surprise, but right now, if you're Ben Anderson, then one of those days he just drops his head like, wow, but forget about it, that's over. Know this, if you can pick up 8 to 9 yards on this play, then you're probably going to go for it on 4th down. Cannot get sacked in this situation.
Jackson State drops 7 into coverage. Anderson double clutching, keeping the play alive, and he gets sacked. Tederick Terrell throws him down. 6th sack of the day for Jackson State. Punt team comes out.
Say you can't get sacked, and he gets sacked, gets outside the pocket. If it's not there, get rid of it. He's coming on to you like a heat-seeking missile. You may be faster. When Tedrick Terrell has that motor going, he's shown the ability to track down mobile quarterbacks.
So it'll be up to the defense again for Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Wow. Punching into the end zone, things are just going downhill, but we talk about the sack and the pressure, but one thing that Joseph LeBeau's been able to do all game is get pressure. Watch him just blow up Billings in the pocket, easing the way for Tedrick Terrell to come and make the big hit on the quarterback. Jackson State's in the lead.
The 2013 Rose Bowl game, New Year's Day on ESPN.
Of course, the holidays are about giving. But we all remember the one gift. The one we wrote letters asking for and finished all our vegetables for.
Again, 3. Thank you, Matt. Good finish coming here in Birmingham, Alabama. Jackson State has not trailed in this game, but nobody scored in this second half. The defenses have been great, especially the defense of Arkansas Pine Bluff, which has forced 5 punts on 5 second-half possessions. Can it get another stop and give the offense one more chance? Moore keeps it off the zone read. 7 yards to the 27. DeMarcus Berry with a stop. 2nd and 3. And Moore comes up a little bit limp.
He took a hit, and you see them wave off. Backup quarterback Dedrick McDonald took a couple steps onto the field. But we're going to have to yank more out of this football game. Been a very physical football game on both teams on the defensive side. Starting to show up here late in the second half.
He pulls it again, this time with room. Moore cutting back. Clayton Moore down to the 34. 43-yard run. Ryan Shaw with a stop.
This is just all guts right now by Clayton Moore, doing the right thing on the read, even though he knows it's going to hurt, pulling the ball out of the stomach, and then turning on the jets, and at the end of the run goes smashing into the turf. You know he's in a lot of pain right now. But that's what true leadership is all about, the ability to play through it when you're not feeling well. And the team needs you staying on the football field.
Akron transfer in his first season at Jackson State, trying to lead them to a SWAC title. Here's Sims. Thrown for a loss. Jarvis Webb was there to lead the way, 2nd and 11. Furman as well, who's slow to get up.
Thurman's like a version of Jim Brown, the football player, but playing defense. Every time Jim Brown got up, you always thought, how much more punishment can he play? Can he take? Brandon Thurman's been that way throughout this football game. Man, just still get up and make plays.
Moore ran for 100 the first time that he saw UAPB. 73 yards, 43 which came on that last run. Trying to grind the clock down. Running the play clock inside of 5. 3 to snap it. Not sure he knows. We'll say that they got it off. Sims is going to get thrown down by Lofton. That's a loss of 7. But it's 3rd down and 18 coming up as Arkansas Pine Bluff. Thought I heard a whistle, and they did take a timeout with 2:52 to go. Their second. And we'll take the break with them. Is there one more stop left in Arkansas Pine Bluff to give the offense the chance? Or will Jackson State seal it here?
To those who...
The 2012 SWAC Football Championship is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. But it's coming right down to the wire here in the Magic City. 21-14. Jackson State has not trailed. Clayton Moore comes out. Dedrick McDonald comes in for 3rd and long. Arkansas Pine Bluff tries to get yet another stop. McDonald more of a traditional drop back passer with a strong arm. And they will let him throw it. Down the middle of the field. Richardson couldn't come back and get it. Webb with the coverage. And it's 4th down as Pine Bluff's defense does it again.
I mean, they did it just in the nick of time, right when Arkansas Pine Bluff was backed up against the wall. You figure if Jackson State were to get another 1st down, they'd be able to get a field goal try to seal this football game or really put a lot of pressure on Arkansas Pine Bluff. They make another stop. They get a tackle for loss. And they're going to get the football back yet once again, it appears.
Can Rick Comagene get another title? He's won 1 here at Jackson State. He's won 6 total as a head coach. 5 of them at Tuskegee. Dean's punt is his best one of the day as far as height, but it's very short. It takes a Jackson State bounce down to the 4. Arkansas Pine Bluff down a touchdown with 2:36 to go. We'll have to go 96 yards to extend this game.
And the special teams have not helped Arkansas Pine Bluff here today. A game like this, to win a championship, you got to win on offense, defense, and special teams, and it's not been there for the Gold Lions.
Ben Anderson, who has struggled so mightily, first-team All-SWAC quarterback, has not been able to figure out his 4-2-5 Jackson State defense. He's got one more chance to do so and try to give Arkansas Pine Bluff its first SWAC title in 46 years. High snap pulled down. Back to the teeth of the defense for a yard, 2nd and 9.
And that's what Anderson wants to do. But Jackson State, give them credit. They've been stubborn. They have not removed a defender from close to the line of scrimmage whenever they go 5 wide receivers. They're going to keep 2 linebackers with the 4 defensive linemen. That's basically telling Ben Anderson you're not going to be able to run the football.
Shot downfield. It's in stride. Willie Young, a foot race. He will not be caught. 95 yards.
Whoa. Gutsy effort. Ben Anderson put plenty of air on the football, and Willie Young did the rest. The true freshman has shown the ability to get behind the secondary of Jackson State. This time, Anderson had enough arm to get it out there where he can make the huge play.
Now Strickland for the extra point. He missed the field goal from point blank earlier in this half. This for the tie. With 2 minutes to go in the SWAC championship game, it's 21-21, tied for the first time since it was scoreless. Longest pass play in SWAC championship history.
I mean, Young's just going to put on the Jets, and watch Vince Anderson just heave this ball from his back leg, and great extension by Young to not settle for the diving catch. Able to run underneath the football and pull away from Travis Woods. Sorry, that's Mike Hill. Mike Hill, the outside linebacker. We've seen that matchup before. It becomes a foot race. We've got a tie football game, Joe.
And you had a feeling it would take something like that because Pine Bluff seemingly was not going to finish off a long drive.
Yep. And that's what you had to do. I mean, they made it clear they weren't going to allow Anderson to run the football. So with that being the case, Anderson had to make a play from the pocket. Was able to find one-on-one coverage with the wide receiver lined up in the slot versus the outside linebacker. And they took advantage of it.
As Clayton Moore come back out. He was injured on the last drive. Dedrick McDonald was in for one play. Almost was intercepted.
My rule is if your starting quarterback can play, then he plays.
Especially in this situation.
Yep.
There is no tomorrow. Strickland with a good kick. Brought from a yard deep by Alexander Montgomery. Alexander Montgomery to the 27. All big plays defining this game that's been largely defined by defense outside of these plays.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you got defensive battles. You saw Rico Richardson make the big play there. Then it was Rakeem Sims with the ability to run the football, giving them an early 14-point lead. This was a big one. The run into the punter, which actually allowed Jackson State to continue to drive, get a quarterback sneak right before the half. Coming off the edge, Xavier Lofton forced the fumble, which they scored upon. And I don't know if any's been bigger than this. Really young, great catch, great extension. Comes a foot race and he wins. We're knotted up.
Clayton Moore checks back in, throwing the out pattern. His first completion of the second half. He was 0 for 4 prior to that. Zachary Pendleton out across the 35. They'll give him 7 yards. Those of you that are tuning in to watch Minnesota and Penn State, that's airing on ESPN News until this one finishes.
Watch Brandon Thurman, number 96 for Arkansas Pine Bluff. They're moving him now into the interior tackle position to see if he can create some pass rush up the middle.
On the curl, thrown behind Richardson and incomplete. 3rd and 3.
This is a big 3rd down. If they throw the football and don't get it, keep in mind that Arkansas Pine Bluff possesses what they believe is the best kicker in the SWAC conference, and in the SWAC with Tyler Strickland.
Ryan Deasine, who you see there, his long is from 41. They need to get to the 24 to match that. Long way to go. 3rd and 3. Moore with a design run. Didn't get it. And Arkansas Pine Bluff will use its final timeout, but a flag comes. At the very worst time.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 25. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Whoa. Wow. Take a listen for the whistle here. I think that's what they called him for. Oh, wow. That's bad. And that's so inopportune. Not only are you not getting the football back now, they're going to tack on 15 yards. And with a couple of 1st downs, Jackson State will be in a position to kick a game-winning field goal.
I know Bill Ross, your leading tackler, all conference, has a touchdown today, but that is just a mindless play.
That was a cheap shot. Call it what it is, Joe.
The short side, it's incomplete. Jerian Harris almost won the SWAC title for Pine Bluff.
Great recognition by Harris. Buzzes out to the flat. Is in perfect position underneath the route. Just not able to make the catch to secure the interception. You said it right. Had he been able to hold on, Arkansas Pine Bluff would be lifting hardware in about 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Run play, zone read. Moore is thrown down. Xavier Lofton. 3rd down and 10 now. All 3 timeouts remaining for Jackson State. But with this being 3rd down, you don't necessarily want to risk giving the ball back to Pine Bluff. Moore comes out. McDonald will come in.
And as tempted as you are to blitz the quarterback coming in off the sideline, you just cannot do it in this situation. You must play solid zone coverage in this situation here. Keep everything in front of you and make the tackle.
On 3rd and 10, McDonald throws the comeback for Richardson, and it's skipped in there. 4th down. So the punt team will have to come out. Although they're not coming yet.
You got to punt.
Yeah, you can't possibly go for it there. You bring the house if you Pine Bluff. You have not had a return.
You haven't had a return, but you've also had a running to the kicker, which was called roughing the punter. So I think right now both teams have to be preparing for overtime.
What would be the first overtime in SWAC championship history? Tony Dean to punt it to Andre Mitchell. There's a flag down. Delay of game will buy Pine Bluff 5 yards here.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
A 95-yard pass from Ben Anderson to Willie Young with 2 minutes to go, tying this game for the first time since it was scoreless. Andre Mitchell back to receive the punt from Dean. It's a high, short one. But he's got some good bounces all day. Down at the 20 with 18 seconds left. You running the ball here going to overtime?
Yep. I think so. I mean, fortunate that you caught him at the right time. You got the big play.
We saw a throwback to Tyron Armstead, the left tackle. A little bit of trickery from Pine Bluff earlier. You don't consider any kind of. The thing is, Jackson State is going to be waiting back.
Yeah, they're going to be waiting back, and if you try some type of trick play, those are high risk, high reward plays. When you pick up 30 yards on your trick play, okay, you still don't have enough to go for a field goal, and if that play were to blow up in your face, you're giving Jackson State the ball back with great field position.
1 timeout left for Pine Bluff. Their kicker, Tyler Strickland, the best in the conference as long as from 50. They need to get to the 33. They'll throw a screen. Darius Eckwood gets 9. Joseph LeBeau with a stop. And they'll use a timeout.
I don't agree with you taking the timeout right here. I mean, you saw in that play, there was some penetration in the interior defensive line for Jackson State.
Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's their 3rd and final timeout. Please put 10 seconds on the clock. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Let's check in with the studio for a quick update.
Thank you, Joe. Right now, Penn State and Minnesota going at it in the regional final. Penn State with a 17-13 lead in the first set. That right now is going on ESPN News. As soon as this football game is over, we'll have it for you right here on ESPNU. You can also watch it right now on ESPN3. Back to Joe.
Thanks, Matt.
Tell Matt, I don't think that's going to be anytime soon.
Not looking like it. 21-21 off a 95-yard pass play. Arkansas Pine Bluff. The only score this second half, coming with 2 minutes remaining. Comedy looks on. Third time in 7 seasons Jackson State has been here in the SWAC title game. So one more play.
This is dangerous. You got to protect the football in this situation first and foremost.
They're going to let Anderson heave it. He pumps. No run. Anderson running the bounds of the 46. Sending us to overtime for the first time in SWAC championship game history. Jackson State trying to win its 17th SWAC title. Arkansas Pine Bluff trying to win its second. The only other one was a 4-way tie back in 1966. Overtime coming up, but first let's check in with the studio.
Thank you, Joe. Right now, Penn State leading Minnesota in the regional final 19-14. We'll have that for you as soon as the football game is over. Kelly Tennant is with me here on the set, former co-captain at USC. What have you seen so far from the Nittany Lions, up 5 now?
So far, it just looks like Penn State is much more in control, and Ariel Scott really has free reign at the net, and Minnesota's making it very easy on them to control this game. They're just playing very concise, tight volleyball right now. Ariel Scott, the Big Ten Player of the Year, doing what she can to lift Penn State to another national semifinal appearance. That is on ESPN News, and ESPN3 will get you out there as soon as the football game's over.
We're headed to overtime for the first time in SWAC championship game history. 21-21 between Arkansas Pine Bluff and Jackson State. Well, normally we'd be ready for the Lexus HBCU post-game report, but instead we're going to run you right into overtime alongside former NFL quarterback Jay Walker, Joe Davis on hand, and Jackson State 1-0 in overtime this year. First time Pine Bluff has played in overtime in this, probably the biggest game in Pine Bluff history.
Oh, without question. I mean, this is a team that just came back into the SWAC in 1970. They made it to the conference championship title game once. Did not win that one. They've got an opportunity to do it. They've been the most steady team in the SWAC all season long, but yet they had to fight their way to get back into this contest. Overtime's going to decide it. But can JSU hold on? They expect to win championships at JSU. They've been tested to the fullest today.
Big play after big play after big play in this game.
They got started with Rico Richardson, the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year, showing you why. Early making an impact, and then the big run where Rakeem Sims with the ability to run the ball to the end zone, that really helped get them off to a big lead. Then this play right here called roughing the punter there, and they actually were able to capitalize and get a touchdown score. But right before the half, Monty Coleman dialed up a blitz from the outside. They were able to get to Clayton Moore, return it all the way back to the end zone before the half to only go into halftime down by a score. No offensive points scored in the second half until this big play here by Willie Young, the true freshman from Louisiana, tied this football game up, and we're headed to overtime.
Pine Bluff will start with the football. Jackson State winning the toss.
One thing to note, Jackson State quarterback Clayton Moore was banged up at the end of that regulation. His status in overtime will be questioned.
Overtime rules, you know them by now. Think of it like baseball with an inning, top and bottom. You play until one team has scores or has points and the other doesn't. By the third overtime, got to go for 2. First ever overtime game of the SWAC championship. Arkansas Pine Bluff trying to win the title for the first time since '66. Jackson State trying to win its 17th title, and it is Clayton Moore coming back in.
Well, he did return his accuracy throwing the football. He's been hobbled by a sore shoulder. With him being in the game, you have to think that JSU is going to come out and try and just run the football.
It's Sims. Nothing doing. Defensive line for Arkansas Pine Bluff has been good all day. He gets a yard, 2nd and 9. Harris and Lofton there for the stop.
UAPB has done a good job of making the adjustment when they line up in I formation. Their linebackers, rather than try to take on those blocks head on, they've been able to run around the oncoming fullback or pulling guard. And that's why they've been able to slow down the running game of Jackson State.
Play action. Moore with time, but the pocket collapsed and he stepped out of it. Back to the line of scrimmage. Was dropped by Sean Robinson. 4th sack of the year for him. It's 3rd down and 10.
Look at the coverage by Arkansas Pine Bluff. He's nowhere to go with the football. He wants to leave, and he escapes the sack by Brandon Thurman. That doesn't happen too often. This Arkansas Pine Bluff defensive line has really seized control of the line of scrimmage here in the second half.
Jackson State was 4 of 7 on 3rd down in the first half, 0 of 9 in the second half. Batted down. It was Robinson again, and it's 4th down. And so this would mean a 42-yard field goal for Ryan Deasing, whose career long is 41.
You see, good job just getting that paw up by Sean Robinson. That's what you're taught, a la J.J. Watt in the NFL, Houston Texans. If you can't get to the quarterback, leave your feet. Get your hands in the air.
So the freshman from Nashville. Woo! We're at a 41-yarder for a career-long last game. Tries it from 42. And it's blocked! The Pine Bluff defense pitched a shutout during the second half. And they pitched a shutout in the top half of overtime number 1.
You're putting a tremendous amount of pressure on a true freshman trying to make a career long in overtime. Ball doesn't get much elevation.
Robinson.
And I think that was Robinson again with the bat down. That ball's got to be kicked with a higher elevation than that there. Deasing's only been 7 of 14 on the year, so you knew when it came down to the battles of kickers, advantage to the boys from Arkansas. Now with one of the best offensive lines in the country, got to think, run the football behind number 70, Teron Armstead, pick up a 1st down, and things are looking good for the Golden Lions right now.
Anything wins it. Billings, left side. Justin Billings runs Arkansas Pine Bluff inside the 5. He thinks he's in, so does the crowd, but it's 1st and goal at the 5 on a gain of 20.
Were we the only ones that thought they were going to run the ball to the left side behind Teron Armstead, doing a good job getting there? Does he get in? He's tiptoeing on the sideline. That may be a touchdown.
There is a flag down as Pine Bluff stormed the field.
Oh, he stepped out on the 5.
I think you're going to get a penalty on the sideline.
Yeah, he's going to step out of bounds on the 5-yard line. That wasn't even close. Good job of running, getting the daylight outside, but this step right here, 4.5, 5-yard line, but with that penalty, you hope they don't call excessive celebration.
There's no foul on the play. 1st down and 5.
Good job.
Excuse me, 1st down and goal.
How soon do you kick it?
You're trying to run it. I mean, their kickers look shaky, almost barely making a PAT. Missed the field goal earlier, which was a chip shot. I mean, Teron Armstead's going to the NFL for a reason. Try and run the football to the left side and pound it in there. Don't leave it in the hands of special teams. Did you see the lane that Billings had to run on the left side? You knew they were going to run that way. You knew it. Great execution, a way to believe in your offense by Eric Dooley and Monty Coleman. They're coming same formation. And now look at Jackson State. Look at the white jerseys they have on the lower part of your screen. They're anticipating it better this time. But I give it one or two shots at the end zone. Otherwise, take the field.
Billings, 2nd and goal.
Go over, find my kicker, ask him, where do you like to kick it from? If he prefers the left side, okay.
They've not led in this game. They were down 21-14 with 2 minutes left and a 95-yard touchdown pass from Ben Anderson, who struggled so much today, tied it. Now they're on the cusp of the SWAC title. 2nd and goal. Billings again. Now it's 3rd and goal.
You're getting closer.
Jonathan Billups with a stop.
But you kick it here. You kick it here in case of a bobbled snap. I would kick it here. In case there's a bobbled snap, you tell your holder if you don't field it cleanly, you sit on the football.
This is earlier today from point blank. Strickland hooked it. And now late decision to bring Strickland onto the field. First team all SWAC, the SWAC's leading scorer. Sophomore out of Alpine, California. Arkansas Pine Bluff will use its timeout.
Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's their first and last timeout.
And that's the right thing to do. You want to end the game with a touchdown. In this case here, you got the ball on the 2-yard line. You want them to field it clean to get the kickoff. The only thing I would have done a little differently, I would have had Strickland with me on the 2nd down play selection to find out, are you a right hash kicker or a left hash kicker? When you're this close, the hash marks do make a difference. You got to kick this ball at pretty much a 45-degree angle to get it through those uprights. Now it looks as if they're rethinking it. I saw Strickland going towards the sideline. And you would think if he's going toward the sideline, I think they've got to be setting up this ball in the middle. That ball's on the hard left side. That wasn't taken into consideration when they were trying to run the ball left, which was the right thing to do. But now I think you just tell your quarterback, take a couple steps to the right to center this ball, and then bring on your field goal try.
Fullback Edmonds is in there in front of Billings. On 3rd down and goal.
Got to run right no matter what you're thinking.
Toss play. Billings is shut down. Loeffler for a loss of 4.
Not that far right, not with the toss. I would have just had my quarterback take a couple steps to the right, center the ball, take a knee. The fortunate thing, he lost some yards. So actually that helps improve the angle.
Tyler Strickland.
This is still no easy task when you're kicking it from the far right hash and you've got to draw it into the left.
From 26 yards. Now Rick Comage going to take a timeout to try and ice Strickland. Arkansas Pine Bluff trying to cap one of the best seasons in school history, trying to win 10 games for a first time. get their first ever win in the SWAC championship game and their first SWAC title period since 1966. Their only ever SWAC championship was a 4-way tie in the 1966 season. I left the SWAC in 1970, rejoined in 97, 0-1 in SWAC championship games.
Somewhere, you know that L.C. Greenwood's watching this game, pulling for his alma mater.
Biggest kick in Pine Bluff history. Arkansas Pine Bluff wins the SWAC championship.
That was close, Joe. The most consistent team throughout the 2012 football season. Let's take a look at this one. He's got to put a draw on it. Whoa.
From the cellar to the top of the SWAC. Champions for the first time in 46 years as they win 10 games for the first time in school history. 24-21. Arkansas Pine Bluff wins the first overtime game in SWAC championship history. Coming up next, we'll join Minnesota and Penn State in progress and the NCAA Volleyball Regional Final. For Jay Walker and our entire crew, my name's Joe Davis, saying good afternoon from Birmingham as Arkansas Pine Bluff wins the SWAC. Now we join Pam Ward and Krista Bluff.
Welcome to West Lafayette, Indiana. This is the regional final between top seed Penn State and the University of Minnesota. Russ Rose's team has won 5 national championships. Hugh McCutcheon, who led the U.S. women's national team to the silver medal in London in his first year in charge of Minnesota. Penn State won the first set. We are here in the second set. Minnesota in the maroon and gold, Penn State in the white uniforms. Ariel Scott, the Big Ten Player of the Year, gets yet another kill for the Nittany Lions. Pam Ward joined by Krista Blunk, and a lot at stake, Krista.
Oh, no doubt. For Minnesota, seeking their 4th appearance in school history. They've made it to the national finals back in '04, but lost to Stanford, so they're trying to go a little bit further here, and for Penn State seeking their 5th appearance now in the last 6 years and trying to get their 10th all-time.
These two teams met twice during the regular season. Penn State won both matches, but did drop a set to Minnesota when they played for the second time. Impact players, there's a lot of talent on this floor, starting with Tori Dixon from Minnesota.
Tori Dixon, if you need a big play for Minnesota, you look for her, in particular the slide, and we haven't seen that much here in this one so far.